you're a Muppet god. Welcome, welcome. Full of Muppets in here. You say you're not a Muppet? Spoken like a true Muppet. Well, you clicked. Demonstrated not to be a Muppet. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. And also hello to the Muppets on Twitch. Legato states that he is a Muppet. Alright, welcome noble ones. How you doing today? What have we got? Welcome everyone to the live stream. Capitain says, isn't it midnight in Italy? Probably, but doesn't affect me. I live in the US. Hey, welcome, welcome. So guys, it's 5:15, but I'm Southern Italian, of course I'm late. I'm testing again the live stream slot from 5 to 7. If it works and we get good participation both on Twitch and on YouTube, I'm multi-streaming right now, we will make it into a thing that I live stream almost every day. Let's say from Monday to Thursdays, and then on Fridays I'm gonna start having members only streams, same time. And then Saturday and Sundays, I'll go live if maybe, but like ensured from Monday to Thursday. How about that? That's the plan, noble ones. That's the plan. I think midnight is good for Europe. I mean, what? You go to sleep at midnight? Who goes to sleep at midnight? Come on. Be proud to be Muppets and welcome. 11:15 in the UK. Yeah, that sounds just right. It's an hour of difference with Italy and Germany. We are all not Muppets, hooray. Hey, Mr. Bra, thank you for the support to the stream. Very much appreciated. How are things on Twitch? Noble Muppets, hey, that's an interesting way to put it. Kermit is great. Wait. We need to see that. Kermit is number one Muppet, guys. Kermit is number one Muppet. What a great Muppet. Look at that. Look at that face. Look at this. This guy's a walking helmet. Number one Muppet. Perfect. The Muppet helmet. This is now the Muppet helmet. From now on, this is the Muppet helmet. There's nothing you can do to stop me from calling it. I mean, if that's not a Muppet, I don't know what is. So how you guys doing today? How are you guys? Oh my gosh, what did I just find? Man, look at this. Look at this. That screams evil boss. That's like Dark Souls right there. Whoo. That face. He's not messing around. He's not messing around. Man, I love the frogmouth helmet. What can I say? Frogmouth helmet is great. Alright, good stuff, guys. Welcome to the live stream. Gonna have a great time today. And what's that music I heard of? Ezra says first when I came in from your game. No. That was Dark Omen, Warhammer Dark Omen, and the music is called Chase. I often use it on my live streams. It's not easy being green. I agree, Dakota. Thank you for the super chat, Tonias. Busy? Nasan, it's the Count. Ooh, the Count is good. Yeah, the Count is good. But Kermit for me is number one. Count number two. But the Count is good. Yeah. And then the pig lady. I don't remember her name. She's she's the third one. She's the third one for me. And then we've just created our Muppets tier list. How about that? It's great. Bro is angry. Absolutely. Yeah, that guy. Man. That guy was mad. Frogmouth helmets. I don't know what it is. I just love them. It's my favorite. Every time I play a Dark Souls and I see an enemy, whether it be... I don't think bosses can bosses drop the helmets? I don't know. But sometimes enemies do have a frogmouth helmet, depending on which Dark Soul you play in which area. And then when I see one of those, I just stop and ditch 10 hours repeating that area until they drop it. That's just how it is. So basically, whenever I can, in Dark Souls, I try to get a frogmouth helmet. And actually, I was playing Elden Ring the other day, and I got to this area where there is an enemy that is wearing a helmet that kind of looks like a... I'll see if I can find it for you. Kind of looks like a frogmouth, but then it also has a cut in the middle, so it's like a merging between the frogmouth and the barbute. And since I love both, I'm like, ooh, I need that. And I've been just dying over and over again because I'm not that good with Souls games. Just because I need to kill that enemy. We're going to play some Crusader Kings 3. Probably not today, but thank you for that. Thank you for the support. Thank you, Faceless, for the super chat. Have you seen Deutschland from Rammstein? They represent Roman knights better than Hollywood. Really? Is it a video? What is it? Let me see. Let's check it out. I'm getting a music video, so I don't think that's what you meant. So if it's a channel, let me know, because I haven't got a clue. Oh, it's a song. Well, if it's a song, I can't watch it. I mean, I could watch it, but and even watching it is dangerous on live streams. Can't do it. Too dangerous. Music videos. Ooh, that stuff gets your video claimed so quickly. Is insane. Hollywood is number one realism. Goodness gracious, Teutonic. I know you're trolling, but even when people are joking, it still feels like, ooh, Hollywood. We've been battling Hollywood for what, 12 years now on this platform? 12 freaking years. Hey, there, Metatron, glory to Rome. Hey, Samuel, thank you. Good to have you here. Any thoughts on the guy claiming to be the Madi? I don't know who that is, mate. No idea. I don't know if we're going to play Oblivion, maybe later. We're going to start the stream just hanging with chat, talking, glory to Pompey, usual stuff. And then I do want to watch, there is a video I wanted to check with you, but we'll do it later. And then we might play a little bit later on the video. We'll see. Depends. Not sure. I haven't decided yet. Yeah, exactly. Like the music videos will get you claimed before you play it. Was Pompey a Muppet? That's a fantastic question, gamer dude. Could be. Still glory to Pompey. And lift your hands. Glory to Pompey. That's what we do. Da-da-da-da-dum. Some guy claiming to be the success. Oh, really? So someone on the internet is claiming to be the successor to Jesus, Muhammad, and Peter, and the real Pope. Goodness gracious. What's his name again? I might need to check that. What else? I mean, he's just the successor of everything. Did I ever finish Dragon Age? Which one? Because I mean, I don't play for obvious reasons. I don't play Veil God, so I don't think you're talking about that one. The Dragon Age Origins, I finished it, but I finished it many years ago. Like when it actually came out, I like finished it like two or three times, two times in a row, and then I started a third time. Oh, I found a very nice image. Check this out. Oh, the Madi is the name. The Madi. I'll look for that and see what the heck this is about. We'll see. I see people calling him the Antichrist. Goodness gracious. Yeah, we'll have a look at that maybe later. But check this out. So this image here, and it shows you a frog mouth, and then it shows you how the stuff works inside, all the stuffing. That is, not the stuffing, the liner. That is exactly what the liner inside my frog mouth looks like. Exactly like this. That's what it looks like. In fact, oh, he has a video called The Sermon of the Anti. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, I'm not going to follow him. So I was going to say, I might actually show you because it's exactly what it looks like. My armorer did a fantastic job recreating this because it's exactly what it looks like. Like without this whole liner, which is detachable. That's why you have all of these points here. If you disconnect all of these, you can remove the entire liner. And yeah, so if you disconnect the liner, I wouldn't be able to wear the frogmouth anymore. That's what's crazy. Like you need the liner. I personally think every medieval helmet had a liner. That's what I think because I can't think of one single museum medieval helmet either doesn't have a liner or doesn't have the connections for a liner, and you can clearly see that there was a liner installed. How do you avoid overheating? It's not easy, but then again, yeah, you don't. You overheat. It's one of those things, but it's not as bad as it looks though. It's more the claustrophobia inside the frog mouth than it is like you can breathe. And you do get some air from this. But yeah. It's not just for tournaments though, YJ. That's what I used to say. But then by looking at iconography, you will find frogmouths used in war. Usually there are versions of the frogmouth, like for instance with this kind of connector, we can safely say this was only used for a joust. But there are early types of frogmouths that are 100% used for war. For those people who want more protection. In that case, I don't think that they were connecting them to the breastplate. I think they were wearing them slightly above. Like you basically create a little gap so that you can actually turn your head because the helmet actually rests entirely on your shoulders and is then connected. Yeah, then it's a problem turning around, and for war it wouldn't be great. But there is a lot of iconography with frogmouths used in combat, in actual combat. Of course, again, it depends on the frogmouths. There will be frogmouths that are 100% specialized jousting gear, and you would not take it to war. But as an umbrella term, including all versions of frogmouths, some were absolutely used in war. Yeah. Oh, they were for drinking competitions. I apologize. Yeah, you can't. I tried having a coffee through the frogmouth mouth, and it's impossible. It's too far away from the mouth, from the actual mouth, because the frogmouth's mouth is at the height of your eyes for obvious reasons. So it doesn't work. I tried. Maybe with a straw I could do it though. I'll have to test it. I'm gonna test it one of these days. Can you drink using a straw through a frog mouth? And then if it rains, I'll try and see if I can drink the water. If the water gets in, I'll test that as well. Metatron pedanticus. A very bendy straw. Yeah, Legato, exactly. Nice picture, is it, for a passport? Yeah. Ooh, could you imagine taking a picture for a passport? I wish it wasn't like illegal, because it is. You need to show your face. But could you imagine if your picture on the passport was the frogmouth helmet? I would love it. I would absolutely love it. It would give you a lot of protection, Alto Hallan, the frogmouth in war. So, like, if you're a man who wants more protection, that would actually be pretty decent. But would I choose it? No, I would rather, for war, I would use something with a visor. That's what I would use. Also, the one I have is very heavy. So something for war, maybe I would totally see it being a little lighter. The one I have, I'm going to show you. This one. This is a beast. This is a beast. So, look at this thing. So yeah, that's a monster of a helmet. And as you can see, in the inside, we have all of the liner, which provides you some decent padding, but also allows you to basically wear it more comfortably. It is a tank. And then all of these connections here that you see are for pointing the liner. So if I undo all of these, then you can remove the liner. That's basically. So this one is more for jousting, but you could wear it for war. It's just that it's kind of heavy. It's on the heavy side because it's providing very good protection from shock. Could you wear it for war? Yeah, but maybe I would personally prefer an armet. I would personally prefer an armet with a visor. Man, today we're into helmets. Might as well show you the armet. Although the armet I have is a Maximilian, but I have another armet in the making that should arrive soon. I think they already sent it. Anyways, for now we got this. It's a Maximilian. Very dark soul, isn't it? It's very dark soul. And that's what I like. The fact that it gives me very good protection. Not as good as that, but it does still give good protection. And then if something happens and I need to breathe, you lift the visor, you look around, you breathe a little bit. Hopefully you don't get an arrow in the face. And then if you see the enemies coming forward or you're going for another charge, boom, you get your protection again. And it's really badass. I love this helmet. It's based on an example, excellent example at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. This one here. And I have another frogmouth coming soon. And when it arrives, I'll have an unboxing and first impression on Patreon, like I always do. All of my unboxings are on Patreon. But then I will also show it here afterwards. Best looking helmet is the Houndskull. Yeah, not for me. I like Houndskulls, but it's pretty low when it comes to, like, performance-wise. It's very good because, again, it's a visored helmet and the pointy mouth is pretty good for deflecting. But the looks, I'm not a huge fan of the... I mean, I like it only because it looks like so distinctively medieval that it's cool, but I wouldn't wear it. Like, I would not choose it ever. So, just one of those things, I suppose. Personal preference. Thank you, Abdullah, for the support. It may be a rude question, but how does a knight answer nature's call if he wears plate armor in battle? Well, you just remove the... Similarly to what you do with your regular clothing. Like, for instance, I don't have to take off my shirt if I need to answer nature's call. So you just remove those elements of armor that are required for you to be able to answer nature's call. And I imagine if you're in the middle of battle, like, unless it's an emergency, you'll just have to keep it. and just wait. And if it is an emergency, at that point, just go over yourself. I mean, it is what it is. If you're being attacked, then there's nothing else you can do, and you really can't. But then again, normally I would imagine, yeah, either if it's a situation where you don't have to remove the entire armor. You just remove the parts that are important and then keep everything else and then put everything back up. That's what you do. So yeah, that's the idea. Thank you, Jeffersonian, for the support. Metatron Pedanticus and Pompey needs to be t-shirts. I agree. You're absolutely right. And if I had half of your business mentality, guys, I probably would have done it already. But, I also need to make a shirt called Let Me Be a Little Pedantic. How about that? I want to do that. I'm so going to do it. Can you show us a photo of the armor you ordered? Absolutely, yes. I'll show you a photo. Just give me 1 second because I believe I have it. I'll show you right now. It's already been done. It's polished and finished. And then, as I say, I'll do the unboxing on Patreon. I'll put it on. I'll test it. I'll compare it with the other helmet. It's going to be fun. But let me see. Where did I put the picture, though? Let me think. Maybe I put it in here. Did I put it in here? Let me look for it very quickly, and then I'll show you. You know what? I know how to find it. Just one moment, please. I know where to download it from. I'm going to download it from my Facebook because that's where the armorer sent me the pictures. But I'm not going to show you on my Facebook simply because, it's kind of a personal thing, my Facebook, so I prefer not to share it also because it can happen that sometimes what was I going to say? Maybe you have a conversation and imagine you tell someone your address or something, and then if I make a mistake and click, I don't want to deal with that, so I'm just going to never show my Facebook. That's my solution to that, if it makes sense. But if you give me 1 second, I know how to... Okay, profile. There we go. Also because sometimes Facebook is weird. Like a conversation will pop up just like while you're discussing, while you're talking. And it's really annoying when that happens. And imagine if you're live, that could be dangerous depending on what... Like if people say something private like that you don't want to be shared with the public, if you will. That's the situation. All right. Just one of those things. Anyways, let me get the picture. So I found one picture. That's nice. So we got one. Give me 1 second. Let me download it and put it on the desktop. And then we got one. We got two. See if I can find a third one, guys. Third one. Almost. Let me move this here. Okay. All right, I found two pictures. I have more, but I don't know where I put them. So for now, I closed Facebook, so we don't have that problem anymore. Let me put on the frog mouth back here. Now I'm going to open the picture. There you go. So I'm going to share my screen now, and then I'll read the super chat. But this is it. This is my new helmet. It's an armet. As you can see, it's kind of based on examples that are usually used for tourney, specifically for foot combat. And I think it's pretty nice, to be honest, with this as well. Kind of reminds me of reptilians, reminds me of home, Orion and whatnot. But yeah, closed helmet with the way it opens, to be specific, it's a closed helm rather than an armet. But since people in the medieval period called both types of helmets armets, because armets open like this, right? Let me tell you this. So armets, technically, the way we use it now, are the helmets that open like this. Closed helms are the ones that are solid in the front and they open like this. Okay, that's the only difference between... Visor is going to look the same, the shape is going to look the same. That's the only differentiation, but it is not a medieval differentiation. All closed helms were called armets in period, which is why I don't particularly care to call this an armet. But this is it. That's the helmet. I'm going to read the super chat. Just want to give you another... There we go. Here it is. I think it's looking good. I think it's looking good. What do you guys think? So I'm looking forward to get it. I'm really, really looking forward to get it. All right, so let me see the super chat. Thank you, Jennifer Silvers, for the donation. Loved your Dr. Hillman versus Bob Larson commentary. Thank you so much. Looking forward to your response to his translations. Also, yay Helms. Yay Helms. We're working on it. It's going to take some time. And also, I hate the fact that I think the commentary was fun. I enjoyed making it. And I think it was a decent video commentary. The only problem is that the algorithm didn't seem to like it, so it didn't send many notifications. Unfortunately, I could see the number of impressions, not great. And so if these two videos did really, really well, then I would have sped up the production of the actual answer and kind of reply to Dr. Hillman and his statements. But because they did not do well at all, I'm talking like one was 7 out of 10 and one was 9 out of 10, if you know how YouTube works. The higher the number, the worse the video is performing. Then I'm like, all right, I'll do it, but I need to take my time and give priority to other projects. It is what it is. I hate it, but it is what it is, unfortunately. Hello, St. Nicholas. Why do a lot of armorers use Facebook? I think Black Knight is asking this on Twitch. Well, I think it's easier for them to connect to people because then they can subscribe to a lot of different Facebook pages where you have people interested in armory. And there is a reasonably sized community of people interested in armor making. And so I think they use Facebook because of that. It already creates some connections. That's a lovely helmet. Thank you, Legato. I'm looking forward to wearing it. I hope it fits, to be honest, because it's been made at a distance, but so was my frogmouth, and it fits perfectly. My armet, yeah, well, it is an armet. The Maximilian one is a little bit on the tight side for me, but I can still wear it. I hope that one works, because I got a big head. With helmets, it's always a bit of a problem. So, yeah. Glad to see you again, St. Nicholas. Thank you for being here. Metatron starts selling swords. Yeah, that could be fun. A fun side business, but no. Will you be getting a native speaker t-shirt? Man, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'm just reading your comments now. The reptilian calls me a Muppet. Beautiful armor. Yeah, I love it. Can you grate cheese with it? That's a very good question. I might test it. So we'll see if it works. Expensive hobby, yeah, but at least I get to write them off. Just like I write off my gaming stuff. Like the other day I made a post on Twitter, on X, and I was saying, hey, we ordered, because we did pre-order, my wife and I, we pre-ordered a Switch 2. And then, yeah, someone in the comments was like, oh, I wish I had the money. And I'm like, I totally understand that. And as when you're a content creator and you make enough, I can even leave it at that, then you can write off up to a certain extent of your taxes, at least here in the US. In Italy, not really. The write-offs don't work the same way. But in the US, it's actually relatively easy because you're a freelancer as a content creator, and therefore you get some advantages like that. So as long as I use it for work, meaning that I use it for production, which I do, whether it be a helmet or whether it be a Switch from my gaming channel, then you get to write them off, which is fantastic. Like you can't like write off everything, but anything you can that then can be used in the business correctly, like that you actually do use, because I don't want to mess with the American government, but everything that you can write off that is real, that I actually do use, I will. Because it helps me, produce better content, and then hopefully that, turns back. So if you're American and you're thinking of starting a channel, do keep in mind that write-offs is a massive advantage. Thank you, Alexander, for the support. How violent was Roman politics? All of the depictions I have seen make it look like it was cutthroat. It absolutely was. And it's interesting, one video that I wanted to make and then I completely forgot, but you just reminded me, I wanted to talk about Roman political factions, because whenever we think of the Romans, we often don't think of them like we think Roman emperors, great. And then during the Roman Republic, you have the Senate. But it's not like that. They had distinct factions, one of which being populist, one of which being more like monarchist, royalist. And then we could examine all of the different Roman emperors and all of the different Roman generals and tell you, this one belongs to that faction, this one belongs to the other faction, so that you have an idea. And you would be like, but wouldn't these factions in a situation like that lead to civil wars? Yes, and that's precisely why you have civil wars in Rome. You did. So it is a great question, and I think maybe a video that gives you, I could do it with like colors. I could give it like blue and red, a bit like modern politics, and then show you the factions and show you what ideas they had, and then we could discuss it, because it would give you a different perspective on Rome. Any upcoming video on Vanity Fair and Wyatt? So on Vanity Fair, not really, because I have, unless you can find something, because a lot of the stuff on Vanity Fair does not overlap with what I'm interested in. Occasionally when they talk about medieval period Rome, languages, then I do, but I don't know, I haven't seen anything new. If there is something new that you think could overlap with the channels, plural, then I would definitely do it. When it comes to Wyatt, I did a reaction video that I never posted, but I will. I'll post it in May. I did a reaction video to, basically there is this professor and she's talking about what it means to be a dictator, and she's talking about dictatorships. And the thing is though, I never react to the entire video anyways. I always exclude chunky sections in order to give people a reason to go and watch the original video. But when it comes to this one, the sections that I was interested in, that I did react to, are the historical ones. So when she talks about Nazism, fascism, communism, and she's being pretty fair on these. Like, she's presenting a good idea and she's discussing the politics, but within the concept of history and political science. And I thought she did a good job. A few times I disagreed, but it was a good thing. But then she starts talking, when it comes to dictatorship, she starts talking about modern American politics. And she has a massive section all about Trump, Kamala Harris, and Biden. At that point, I stopped to react, because I'm like, you know what? It's not something I want to talk about on my channel, because it has no connection to history, and it would be extremely divisive in the comments. Like, people would be mad and starting like, and it would kind of detract from the historical aspect of it. Not to mention, I'm not an American and I don't really understand American politics. I do a little bit. I've been studying it. I've been trying to figure it out. But I think it would be weird, because she makes references to stuff that I could only like watch, and I wouldn't have anything to say. So I decided to not react to that section. And so I will post this video at one point. It's just that I was a little bit like, I don't know, should I post it? Should I react to that section? Should I not? And then I decided not to react to that section, if that makes sense. Because I wanted to keep it within the realm of history. Because even my videos on Nazism, on fascism, they're always about like I do speak a little bit of an American modern perspective, but then I always go into the history of it. I'm going to the history of the political movements of the 20th century in Europe, which do not perfectly overlap with modern American politics, of course. And then I can present that, and then I make it a little linguistic in nature. But the whole section there, I was like, nah, I don't want to deal with that. I honestly don't want to deal with that. Maybe I could do it as a members video, reacting to that section. That's a good idea. But yeah. Bannerlord is OP. I have to play some Bannerlord. Never played it though. TMNT love pizza, I agree. But never pay full price for late pizza. So yeah. David Lopez says, I need to see it. Well, you could, for now, you could watch the original video and see what you think. They have divided it into sections, so you can click whatever section you want. And that's that. I'm pleased to say I'm not a Muppet. Good, Kristen. You Muppet. But yeah, no, the one about Roman politics will be a video I would love to make. Also because my lead researcher is really good when it comes to that. So he can, like when I write my script, then he can have a look at it. And then I can tell him, hey, can you write yours? And then we can overlap them. And that's what we usually do. I have been producing today what I did after I posted the video. Gonna give you a little bit of behind the scenes, if you will. But I worked on a script for a video that I want to make in May, and it's gonna be quite controversial already, even though it's about ancient ethnogenesis and ethnopoiesis. It's still gonna create a lot of trouble because of modern politics, and it's the question: were Macedonians Greek? And I'm making a video to address it, because maybe you don't know this if you are from America, but in Europe, it's very divisive. It's very divisive. And I decided to make a video about it. And I think we made a very good video. The script is based on both my research and his research. And I'm going to be posting it soon. But yeah, so it's we looked at the sources, we look at what the ancients say, we look at how it was described. There is a lot to say. And it's going to be... I think there is going to be some hate in the comments, but who cares? Truth above all. In your opinion, Julius or Alexander? It's difficult to choose. Maybe Alexander, but then again, Julius Caesar, from the point of view of like military strategy, he was incredible. James has a good point. He says politics have always been polarized. It's the nature of the beast. I agree. I do have a feeling, though, that in the last decade, the tribalism and polarization has increased like tenfold. And I don't mean that it just randomly happened. I mean that, I don't know, maybe mass psychology entered the picture even more. Maybe social media allowed this to get to and of course the presence of ecospheres kind of bolstered this, but it's definitely more divisive than it was, because I can tell you this much. I remember in Italy in the 90s, and Italy, when it comes to the right-left spectrum, Italy gets pretty extreme, okay? So, like, when you talk about actual left-wing, particularly in the 80s and 90s, you had parties such as Rifondazione Comunista, which was 100% communism, like actual communism. Very far left. And then you have some parties that on the extreme right that also go very far on the right, and then you have the moderates, and then you have actual centrist parties. So Italy is not just two parties. If you look at the parties that had power from the 70s all the way up to 2000, you will see that sometimes the center the prime minister was from the center party, other times was from the right, other times was on the left. You have a bit of, and then you have alliances and coalitions. But I also remember sometimes when it was like for civic things, like I remember that you would have Alleanza Nazionale, which is a very right-wing party, and Rifondazione Comunista, which is very left-wing, and they would cooperate to, for instance, do civil service in some areas. Yeah, good luck doing that today. Good luck doing that today. It feels like it's different, if you know what I mean. Thank you, Obscure Orca, for the support. Have you ever considered making a video about Greek and Roman mysteries, like Eleusinian mysteries and Mithraism? Super fascinating topic. I love the topic of Mithra. I do. I started a little series on ancient Roman mythology, but it was completely annihilated by the system. Like, the algorithm just did not do it. And it's my least performing videos of the last year, so I had to ditch it. Maybe on Patreon, that could be something I could do, because Patreon is self-funded, so I can post anything, regardless of what the algorithm does. I agree with you, it's fascinating topics. I also did a video on Roman mysteries, it's called like that, and I was talking about the disappearance of a legion. That's another video that completely flopped with the algorithm. And then I'll make a video when I talk about something silly and it gets 500,000 views. What can I say? Arcanum24, thank you for the support. Hey Metatron, if you could have dinner with a single Macedonian, who would it be? It's gotta be Alexander or Ptolemy. One of the two, but probably Alexander. Thank you, Dracus, for the £20. Very generous of you. Hi, St. Nicholas. I visited the Basilica of St. Nicholas recently. It was gorgeous. Also, Metatron, very good. Good for you. I saw a video by Njord Artisan making a retractable whip sword. Oh, like the one in like Soul Calibur, is it? It resurfaced memories of my first D&D monk back when I was 16. Yeah, for me, it kind of makes me think of Soul Calibur. Did they have that in Soul Edge as well, or is it a character from Soul Calibur? think it's Soul Calibur, to be honest. That's what I think. Say Nicholas agrees with me that it got worse. That's what I feel. I think it got worse. Situation. Did you know Mother Teresa was Macedonian? I did not know that. I doubt it, but hey, if you say so, I can't. Let me see, how are we doing with the live stream? Let me check stats for a moment. Very good on YouTube, so I'm starting to think that the slot from 5 to 7, or even 5 to 8, depending on the live, might be the best one, so that's good. How are things on Twitch? Twitch is a little slow today, 32 viewers, a little slow, but maybe we'll get better. Italy legit has over 20 parties. Italy has a lot of parties. I don't know the number, but they do. Thank you, Ettore, for the support. Metatron, check the Blades of Fire game, a medieval fantasy where you forge your own weapon. The durability is more realistic. The combat is very interesting. You change your instance based on enemy armor. Very realistic. Blade of Fire. Okay, we'll check it out. We might check it out during this live stream. In fact, if they have a trailer, I'll just put it here so we can have a look. When it comes to weapon durability, what do you guys think? Is it a mechanic that adds anything to a game, or is it just annoying? I don't know. Because on one hand, I kind of enjoy it on, like, Oblivion, for instance. There is a mod in Oblivion Remastered that allows you to remove it, but I haven't installed it. I've been installing mods, by the way. I installed another 5 mods. And I didn't remove that because at the end of the day, you could level up with it if armor is one of your main skills. So it's not just wasted. Depends on the genre, you say. Yeah, depends on the game, maybe. In MMOs, tends to be annoying. Like, I remember a game called Dragon Nest that had that mechanic, and it literally became a situation where, yeah, okay, I just fought a freaking dragon, then I'm coming back, I go there, waste a little bit of money, push the button, everything. Like, it became just like a mechanic. It became like a tax. It's a tax you gotta pay, lose a little bit of loot, and that's it. Maybe if the game is more on the realistic side, then it makes sense. But if it's full-blown fantasy, it becomes a tax. I don't know. I mean, then you get to a point where you remember all the problem that... what did you guys think of Breath of the Wild with the weapons that are not repairable? You have weapon durability and then you lose the weapon. I never liked that. I know that there are people that defend it. I know there are people that like it, and if you like it, great for you. For me, I never liked it. It kind of makes me, when I like a weapon, then I don't want to use it. That's what happens, because I don't want it to break. The Ria Aldru says, no, she's actually from Macedonia. Then I had no idea. I did not know that about Maria Teresa. She was, oh, wow. In Minecraft, it's fine, says St. Nicholas on Twitch. Hello, Doc Sikorsky. Welcome to the stream. We're having a great time. At least I'm having a great time. I don't know about you. Oh, you love durability, God's Knight. Well, good. I don't hate it. I don't love it. If it's there, it's there. But if it's not there, I don't particularly care. Like, I don't feel, ooh, my helmet is not getting broken, so I don't like this. I don't even think about it at that point. You love medieval games, but you play FPS with a real passion. I've played FPS. Sometimes I get into them, particularly like Warzone, the Battle Royale, or Royale. How do you pronounce it, by the way, in English? Is it Royal or Royale? I think I heard people say Battle Royale, like streamers. But why is it stressed like that if that's the case? Whatever. They're fun. I play them. Sometimes I get into them. Like, I will play 5-6 matches in a row, and then I ditch it for a month. You say either way. Second one is correct. So you think Royale. Battle Royale. Royale, I see. Thank you. Royale. Royale with cheese? Battle Royale with cheese. I could have a Battle Royale with cheese right now. Maybe tonight I should have McDonald's, guys. It's one of those days. You know, there are days when my wife is like, do you want McDonald's? And I'm like, no, not really. So it's not food that in general, I'm just saying McDonald's, but in general fast food, is not something I eat unless I crave it. If it's one of those days though, is what it is. But if I don't crave it, I'll eat anything else. Anything. I'll make a salad. I'll make a caprese. Ooh, I make a killer caprese salad, guys. Like you get your fresh mozzarella, then you slice it in pieces. You put your cherry tomatoes or regular tomatoes, but I like it with cherry tomatoes because they bring a little sweetness to it. So cherry tomatoes, olive oil, nice oregano, however you want to pronounce it. And then you can add a little bit of balsamic. Better if it's a little bit creamy, but depending, whichever you want, Modena. Oh, it's great. It is great. Sorry, I made you angry. Hungry. But I think today is one of those days when I need a double cheeseburger. Arkamun, thank you for the support. How surprised were Thebes when Alexander leveled their city? They did not think that would happen. Well, a lot of the people did not think that Alexander would do what he did, including fighting hand-to-hand in combat. Could you imagine that? Can you literally, like Alexander, he's the leader, right? He's the king, whatever you want. And then he fights hand-to-hand with his spear, taking down one by one the enemies, risking his life when he's wearing armor. Could you imagine any of our modern politicians doing that? Like, could you imagine like the Italian prime minister or the French prime minister putting on armor and going into hand-to-hand combat on top of a horse leading the charge? Can you imagine that? Man, it's just a different type of man. Roruni suggests, thank you for the support to the stream. Man, you guys are the best. Your support is what keeps the channel going, regardless of YouTube nonsense. So I want to take a moment to thank everyone, whether it be Super Chat, whether it be Prime subscriptions on Twitch, anything. I really Patreon. Thank you very much. Please, a video on role of women in ancient Rome. I do have a video on women warriors, for instance, which got me some hate online. I got called woke because of it. Usually I get called a Nazi and fascist because I usually tend to, I've been upsetting a bit of, depending on the video. So like I will upset the far left, but that one upset some alt-right. So it is what it is. You know, I upset everyone. And that's me. So lately I got attacked very viciously by some left-wing creators. They were really upset with me, calling me a fascist and all that. But then I made that video a while ago, and when I did, the amount of people that called me woke was great. I became the Wokatron. I went from Metachud to Wokatron in one upload. How about that? But yeah, I wouldn't mind. Making that video. At the end of the day, I just look at the sources. So if the sources tell me one thing, and then the right wing was right, it's not like I'm going to hide it because, oh, I need to hide it because otherwise the left is going to get pissed. Who cares? Get pissed. But then, at the same time, if like there is some influencer on the right and they are pushing an idea about women warriors, and I'm like, mate, we reviewed the evidence. You're wrong. I'll still say it. And then they can call me woke all they want. Who cares at that point? I made a thumbnail about it, and I got my hair in like that thumbnail is great. When I'm like the Wokatron. Like, I don't care what people say. I just say what the evidence says. That's what I do. Like, I literally, if there is one thing that you could say anything, Metatron is condescending, is arrogant, is full of himself, is annoying. Say whatever you want, but one thing I'm telling you is I'm not tribalistic. I'm a truth supremacist. That's what I am. My channel is truth-centric. I even posted that. I got those names on my Twitter, on my X. I put them there. I'm like, truth supremacist. I don't even care. And people were like, ooh, I don't know, Metatron. I mean, people could understand it as a reference. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm trolling. At that point, I'm trolling. So I'm having that double cheeseburger tonight in honor of everyone and in honor of you, dear noble ones. Whatever you like. It's your freedom. Do whatever you want. Support whoever you want. Thank you, Colin. Metatron, who's your favorite Eastern Roman emperor? Ooh, I don't know. With the West, I can just say it like this. But with the East, I'll have to think about it. That's a very good question, though. Maybe I need to start making more content on the dominant and the late Roman Empire. I need to start doing that. Do you stoke your helmet? What do you mean by stoke? Moon Labs. You'll have to explain what you mean. But yeah, McDonald's is great Italian cuisine. Tell me about it. I wish I could have some proper Italian cuisine right now. Thank you, Veronica, for the support. I appreciate. Did you see the news about the gladiator with lion bite marks they recently found? I did, but I didn't check it. So thank you for reminding me. I'm absolutely... We might check it on stream today. Lion gladiator bite marks. We might check it on stream. Thank you for that. Thank you for reminding me and for the support. Basil instead of oregano. I mean, you can, but oregano, when it's proper, when it's not dried up and it's proper, it has such a smell. Oh my gosh, I love it. I'm going to need about 350. I don't know what that means, Max, but thank you for the support. Oh, stroke or polish? Yes. Yeah, you need to polish the helmets. Absolutely. I put the oil because I don't take them out much. And this area here where I live in the US is not too bad when it comes to humidity. I actually, maybe once every 2 weeks or even 3 weeks sometimes, I will reapply a coating of oil if I've touched them. But if I don't touch them, they can stay like that for a month. It's not a big deal. But back in Italy, in Sicily, being it's an island, so it's very humid, I had to reapply the oil more often, particularly because I was taking the helmets out a lot. Bong Donkey writes in Sicilian, mi piace mangiare siciliano. Me too, I love Mediterranean cuisine, mate. Love it. Arcanum, how would we know if Metatron wasn't really Metatron? I often think that the Archangel Scribe of God would have a YouTube channel. Yeah, because he's the scribe. He writes down the deeds of men, of mankind. That's why Metatron is the only one allowed to sit in the presence of God among the angelic hosts. That's why I call the channel Metatron, because he's the heavenly scribe, writing down the deeds of men. Thank you, Mawarts, for the support. Have you checked the engineering precision vases from Uncharted X? No, I have no idea. What period are the vases? Do you know? And if you want, you don't. Of course, you don't have to super chat it. You can just write it as a regular continuation. Like I don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to to get you to super chat more. I mean, I appreciate the super chats, but thank you. Nineball asks, same Metatron, do you have a video that explains the use of desho in similar words? No, but desho is not difficult in Japanese. You can use it in two ways. One way is, it depends on the intonation. If you put like a rising tone at the end, rising terminal, then you can use it as a way to, a bit like tag questions in English, like a bit like a, isn't it? So like you are asking for a confirmation, but you kind of expect the speaker to agree with you. And then if you say it with a downward tone, then it's basically a more polite way to say des, because it kind of expresses, des is already polite. But with desho, with a lower tone, rather than desho, with a rising tone, it kind of expresses a little bit of uncertainty, which the Japanese use as a form of politeness. That's why on a different matter, in Japanese, you will hear a lot the Japanese avoiding definitive statements, whereas as Western people, we do that a lot. So like the Japanese will say something like, これは水だと思います. So I think this is water, and I'm making kind of the first thing that I'm thinking. But the Japanese will tell you と思います, which means と思う, which means I think, for something that it's categorical. And they do it out of politeness. It's not because they're not sure. So they will tell you, oh, that game, I think it's an RTS. They know it's an RTS, but they say I think because it's less direct. Whereas we, as Western people, tend to be like, no, yeah, it's an RTS. Like if you only say I think if you're not sure. But the Japanese say I think when they are being polite. And that's important to understand when you enter the Japanese speaking sphere, that you shouldn't take the Japanese literally when they make that choice. Thank you, Micah Price, for the donation. The wife and I are learning Latin for fun. That sounds fantastic, mate. You have my respect for that. Do you have any advice on any recommended sources, practice material for reading Latin? Yes, the channel Polymathy from Luc Ranieri, and then the channel Scorpio Martianus from Luc Ranieri, once again. Those are two channels that are fantastic for learning Latin. They are excellent. In fact, I'm going to show you. So the channel Scorpio Martianus is this one here. Scorpio Martianus. He's got 500 videos, and I think the entire channel is in Latin. He constantly speaks Latin, sometimes Greek. But then if that's a bit much, because all he does is speaking Latin, see Lingua Latina, then you can check out his other channel, Polymathy, which is this one here, where he speaks English, but talks about Latin and Greek. So I strongly suggest to check out these channels, because he's great. I mean, Luca Ranieri is the guy I go to when I don't know something in Greek or Latin. I go to him, just so you know. So that's what I would suggest. Thank you, Mart Rags, for the donation. Have you ever been to Japan? Oh, yeah, I lived in Japan for 4 years. I used to work in Japan. I went there after my university graduation. After I got my degree, I went to Japan, spent 3 months. No, sorry, the first time I went to Japan was when I was a second-year student and spent 3 months to write my dissertation, my thesis. Then I graduated, and then I went to Japan for 4 years, 3.5. And so altogether 4 years. Yeah. That's the story. That's the story. So that's why I speak Japanese fluently. I have a degree in Japanese, but I also spent years in Japan, and that really what did it for me. Because Japanese is a tough language, let me tell you that much. Now I've become a little rusty at writing kanji, but I can still read them, depending on the complexity, of course, and how common the kanji are. So yeah. So that's what it is. Let me see. And then I get ads as well. Sorry for the ads, Alexander. Luke's Patreon is active and it's $1. Yeah, you should go. You should all go. And then if you're learning Japanese, you should check out Dogen. Although then again, that's mostly for pitch. So if you're not interested in pitch accent or it's a bit too much for now, then maybe not. Metatron, please get a Hound Skull Bassinet. Would look epic. Maybe one day, but I have other helmets that I want before that. Sorry, mate. Thank you, D-Rock, for the donation. Abdullah Hashem Abd al-Sadiq. Your opinions? No idea, mate. Is it a general? Like a Muslim general, I would imagine. But I have no idea. It's kind of outside my area of expertise, if you will. I don't know much about Islamic history. Or the history of Islamic countries, if you will. A little bit about the Ottoman Empire. I did study that, but that's as far as it goes. I was actually reviewing some data from Mehmed II, from the Ottoman Turks, because it was related to a topic that I was studying. But yeah. Thank you for the explanation. It was helpful. You're very welcome, 9ball. I'll be reading a little Twitch in a little bit as well. Just Harsh Godly says, Korewa is this. Yeah, Korewa is like this. I wouldn't translate wa as is, because is da or des at the end of the sentence. That's the verb. So wa is just the subject marker. You don't need to translate it in English. So korewa it just means this, close to me. So korewa. But if it was far from me and you, I would say arewa. And if it's far from me but close to you, then I would say sorewa. So it depends on where it is spatially. So korewa, sorewa, arewa. That's how. So to mean this, that, and that over there. Could be a translation. John writes in Mandarin, 你会中文吗? I think you're missing a verb. I would say 你会讲中文吗? Or 你会. Yeah, you need like a verb. Can you speak? 你会说中文 or 汉语 or whatever. And then you say, my question is whether you know, that's language. I don't know the one at the end, but you're asking if I know the language, like Mandarin. 我会讲一些普通话. I speak it a little bit. Like I'm conversational, but kind of, I would consider myself lower intermediate in Mandarin, whereas my Japanese is fluent. But my Mandarin is like I'm working on it. It's work in progress. Work in progress. Were you big in Japan? Like, what do you mean? I wasn't even a content creator, if that's what you're asking. I was just working as a translator. Saturdays and Sundays I was working at a restaurant. as an Italian waiter in an Italian restaurant in Japan. The Japanese loved it. They loved it. And thank you, Obscure, for the donation. When I was a young man, I volunteered in Sicily at the necropolis of Pantalica, really. I still remember the taste of that pizzolo with horse meat, incredible. So horse meat, it means you were on the eastern, because where I'm from, we don't eat horse meat. But in the east, like a Catania area, they do. It's kind of sweet, isn't it? Have you ever heard of the Roman history channel Tribunet? No, I haven't. We'll check it out. Check it out in a second. Want to read how are things on Twitch? The real Aldrius. I'm learning Latin on and off a day-to-day speaking basis. Sounds good. Yeah, you should study any language you're studying. It should be daily, by the way. That's the trick. That's how I sort of tried to approach any language I've ever studied, whether it be English, whether it be Chinese, whether it be Japanese, whatever. Always daily. Has to be daily. If you want actual results, like you're not learning it because you want to know a few things, but if someone speaks to you, you haven't got a clue, then take your time. But if you actually want to be able to speak a language and understand it, it's got to be daily. Like there is no way around it. It has to be daily. Are there any more oversimplified videos on the horizon? Yeah, I was going to watch his videos on Hitler. Oh, sorry, the Austrian painter, I should say, so we don't get demonetized. The Austrian painter. Anime is big in Japan. Well, yeah, they made it. Third writes in Ferguson writes in Japanese, and you write "Watashi wa okii mono o motte imasu." I have a big thing. That's what it translates. What you're trying to say. I don't know what you're trying to say, but yeah, that's what you're saying. Oh, I see what you guys are writing. I'm not going to read what you wrote, Pedro, but I can read the kanji. I know what you wrote. Anyways, I'm not 13, so I'm not going to read that kind of stuff and laugh. Jason Kingsley has a podcast. Would you guess in it? I would, absolutely. If he ever invites me, I would totally go. 100%. No, I haven't seen it, John. And now do you explain who that is? Someone who says he's the second coming of Jesus? Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, well, I don't believe him. So there is that. But, I mean, let's have a look at this Tribunet channel and then I'll double check. Let's see what they're all about, since you guys mentioned it. Tribunet, 48,800 subscribers. Let's have a look. The thumbnails look great. Seems like they have this background as a theme and then statues on the right. Nice. What are they on about? Videos. Roman political violence, origins of Easter, how to live forever, Sulla's reign of terror, foreign Rome's religion, Rome's old gods. So it's all about Rome, which I appreciate. They have a video on Elon Musk, and which I understand. They probably connected it. They spoke about whether or not the Romans did that, because sometimes people call it the Roman salute, which it didn't exist. They didn't do it. I did debunk that. Then I have a video on Gladiator 2. That's cool. I'll have to watch that, see what they think. Yeah, we should probably react to the channel. We should watch one of their videos at one point and see queer life in ancient Rome. We'll have to see if they're pushing politics or if they're being objective, because the topic is absolutely fine, but it depends how you present it. In fact, I'm making a video. There is a response video to a channel that has recently created a whole video about Rome, and it's difficult for me to. Anyways, very cool channel. I'll definitely, kind of relatively recent, it's been 2 years. Was Jesus real? I'll have to watch that one, see what they think. So yeah, no, we'll watch this and we'll have present our ideas, see what we think. But I do like the topics that they choose, let's put it this way. Because, I'm not the kind of guy who will be like, oh, you chose to speak about that, it's controversial, I'm not going to watch it, because you could be either like an activist that pushes one side of an area, or someone who's trying to push the other side. I don't care. I don't know. I don't judge you until I watch. And the reason why I do that, first, because it's just not who I am. But even more so, because that's what people do with me. They will see a thumbnail and they will immediately assume, oh, this guy's a Nazi. or oh, this guy's, and I hate that. So that's why I don't do it on other people. As you see, I saw the channel. I don't know, and I think it looks good, but we'll have to see. We'll judge the content and attack the arguments depending on whether or not they're being impartial, or whether or not they're trying to push stuff. We'll see. How about that? But as I was telling you, I've been producing a video. I'll post it early next month. So basically between the 1st and the 3rd. And it was difficult for me to make. You'll know. When I post it, you'll know. It was difficult for me to make because I like the creator. All right? I like the creator. We are very friendly on X. And yeah, we have like an area of mutual respect. But he made this video and then he sent it to me. He sent me the video on X privately and said, I'd like to hear your thoughts. So I watched it and I'm like, oh, this is a mess. What do I do? And then I sent it to my lead researcher and I said, could you watch this? Because to me, it's bad, like terrible. What do you think? And then he watched it and he went, oh, this is bad. I'm like, all right. So what do I do? And what I do is what you expect I do. I'm making a debunking video. And I hate it because I like the guy. So I'll of course attack the arguments only. I'll be respectful towards him. And I hope that since he's an academic, he'll appreciate that I'm attacking the points. But man, that video is a mess. Man, that video is a mess. It's about Rome. It's about Rome. And one of the main, it's highly political. Maybe he doesn't think so. But it is. Like, it's just telling you he's using semantics to try and say that the Romans weren't European. And I'm sorry, I have to debunk it. When you do that, and then he presents his points, I have to do it. I'm just going to do it. If he gets offended, he gets offended. If he's... I don't think so, because he's an academic, but he's like, so far, we have different points of view. But so far, he's been okay with me disagreeing with him. He's not one of the bad ones that, like, call me names. He never did. And even though we have different positions, he's... But this video is like, oh my gosh. You cannot objectively say that the Romans weren't European. Like, you can say that non-Europeans could become Romans and reach and gain citizenship. That's fine. But when you're trying to say that, you know, technically we shouldn't say the Romans were European, and then you build this, I'm like, no. Sorry, I'll debunk you. Doesn't matter who you are. You could be my brother. I'll still debunk you. Hey, D-Rock, thank you. Thanks, man. Keep up the good work. 100%. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for your support. So, like, he did that. And then it's not the only thing, because if it's just one thing, I'll make a response video. No, it's not Shad. No, do you see Shad saying the Romans weren't European, to be honest? Can you imagine Shad doing that? No. Yeah, that's one thing he did. Romans weren't European. Then he tried to say... What else did he say? Like, there was a lot of stuff that was like... This is... Yeah, so... Yeah, he kept saying, like, the Romans, how inclusive they were and diverse. But he means inclusive in the modern sense. And the Romans were not. The Romans were brutal. Like, you had to bend your knee. I take your stuff. That's Rome. They take your stuff. You bend your knee. If you rebel, I'll cut your hands. You know, and then, after you've done all of that and you start paying taxes, then I can give you citizenship if it suits me. Politically, because initially it depends on the emperor. There are emperors that are like, no, everyone can become a Roman citizen. There are emperors like that, and there are emperors that are like, yeah, if you're rich, you can become a citizen. But you can't consider that as being inclusivity in the modern sense. Like, look, the Romans were so inclusive towards people. No, they're not, because they'll take citizenship away the split second you don't conform to the cultural power, which is Rome. So it's, and then if you want any hope for a career, you have to learn Latin. Like, it's, yeah. Like, I understand what he's trying to say. I understand what message he's trying to combat. But you can't use Rome for that. I'm sorry. You'll see who I'm talking about. I'll post a video soon. I'll post it between the 1st and the 3rd. But I'm just saying, you've got to be honest about it. Like, the Romans were brutal. And it's not the type of inclusivity that these people are trying to say. Like, everyone is a Roman and everyone is welcome and they weren't racist and they loved everyone. No, they hated everyone. It's different. They hated everyone equally, but they weren't people that they're like, oh, everyone is welcome and it doesn't matter where you're from. You can be a Roman and we respect you and it's that, no. Like, let's look at the evidence and let's let the evidence speak. Rome was brutal. It was an ever-expanding, warmongering culture that took territory, and as long as you bend the knee and accept the superiority of that culture, then they'll let you worship whoever you want. But you still have to pay taxes to us. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. Yeah, in fact, you're saying the goal of Rome. Did the Romans care about other religions? No, as long as you still basically accept the emperor's genius. What that means is that when they ask you, okay, who do you worship the tree or you worship this other god? That's fine, you worship whoever you want, but you have to say that the emperor is divine. Are you gonna say that? If you don't, they'll break your knees. Like, I mean, but if you do, then you can worship wherever you want in your private life. They don't care, and even in your public life. So they are more accepting than other cultures of the period, but it's far from what they are trying to depict it as. And we just have to be honest about it. Enya says, Shad is the one who sent me here. Well, welcome. He has some strong takes on stuff, but generally he's a good guy and knows his stuff about Onihima. Yeah, I think Shad is a good guy. I agree. That's why, like, people that try... I don't agree with everything that he says. And I think he has... Like, he has a tendency, and I say that with like, he's a friend, all right? So I'm not speaking badly about him. I'm just saying as a friend. Shad is sometimes on his second channel, not his main channel, but on his second channel, I think he got to a position where this he'll call woke, this is woke, this is woke. He has a bit of a too sensitive woke meter, if you know what I mean. I don't even use the word woke anymore, but if I was asked point blank, do you think this is woke? I'll say it. If I think it. It's just that there are situations in which Shad will call something and then I'll say, you know, I agree with you. And then I'll call something else and I'm like, come on, man. No. I mean, it's that one I disagree. But it's fine. It's fine to disagree, right? It's fine to disagree. And but as a person, yeah, Shad is a good man. Like, I don't care what people say and where they put him on. Oh, careful. Guilty by association. Yeah, that doesn't work with me. I don't care. So, yeah. Yeah, Nails writes, I'm not a bigot. I kill everyone equally. Precisely. Yeah, that's the Romans. Man, I hate that word. I hate the word bigot. I just hate it. I hate that word. Yeah. 1 second. I want to ask my wife very quickly because I'm getting a little hungry. I need to ask her for some cheese. Or maybe I could ask her to... Yeah, maybe let me ask her for some cheese. Because yesterday I got really hungry during the live stream, and then she was like, oh, you should have told me. So I'm telling her now. I'm getting hungry, so I kind of need some cheese. I don't know, maybe one of the Baby Bells. We got Baby Bells in all sorts of flavors, so I wouldn't mind a little Baby Bell right now, just to give me the energy to continue, you know. Blessed be the cheesemakers, absolutely. Cheese stacks, ooh, my dogs know a thing or two about that. Cantrell says he's far more religious, so that's his perspective. Oh no, I'm equally religious. I just keep it to myself. So on the videos, I try to keep them secular, unless it's specifically a video about religion, but I don't make that many. Hello!
What happened?
Cheese, I don't know, I got really hungry so quickly, like all of a sudden.
No, were you watching more videos of pasta?
Not really, no. I don't know what happened, but thank you for the salvation of cheese.
Well,
What cheese have we got?
It's the black package.
Oh, I love it. That's my favorite.
And then my food's almost here, so I'll make you something as soon as I'm done.
Oh no, you don't need to. It's fine. It's
Oh
fine.
no, I feel bad because
Oh,
that's
but
not
no,
enough.
I'm thinking maybe later we could order some McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
Hello from everyone.
Hi, everybody. Hello. Hope everyone. Muppet Queen. Yep, that's me.
Hona says I have the same cheese.
Oh, nice. Hi, everybody. Hi, chat. Hi, Twitch. How is everyone's, Tuesday?
Thank you, Elmir Sten, for subscribing with Prime on Twitch.
Thank you so much for 2 months. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Chevy Misty. Thank you. That's very nice. More armor videos. Yes. I think that'd be super fun.
Yeah. Cheese, guys. Cheese.
Yes. What's up? Miss Metatron. Yep. Fia Poco. Nice to see you. Tell Miss Metatron you're doing Roman food for a week. Oh, pizza 7 days in a row. I'm down.
Oh, yeah, she
Hell
loves
yeah.
pizza. Yeah. If it went up to her, she'd eat pizza every day.
I would. But then I would die.
No, you wouldn't. I would support that choice.
Oh yeah, guys. Okay, listen. I recently got. You guys know that I like Lego. Okay, I like Lego a lot.
Yeah.
I'm actually currently making Optimus Prime right now for Raph because I
Yeah.
made him Bumblebee not too long ago. But I got Optimus Prime. But the other day we went to the Lego store. And do you want to say?
No, you tell them.
So my birthday's in June, and it definitely is like a bit of an early birthday present. But listen, he got me, because he's like the best husband in the entire world.
Thank you.
He got me Rivendell.
Yeah.
I'm like, literally, guys, I'm like feral Rivendell. And it's massive. It's like over 6,000 pieces. And I'm going to like listen to the audiobook of either the husband,
The husband.
either The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
Man, that sounds so fun.
It's so beautiful. Like it's huge. It's massive. It's like.
They're asking if you have a YouTube channel. Which one do you want me to, or do you want me to put a link?
Well, you can definitely. Well, I have 2 YouTube channels. I have
Well, the book
one.
one.
I
Maybe you would
know.
have.
I'm in it.
No, I'm asking. Maybe the book one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have 2, but one of them is like fashion and stuff, so you may not like that one. But
I think they like the book one.
I do have a book one, but I usually just do shorts on that one. But still, if it's Kinsey's bookmark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put a link. Oops.
There's no comma,
Oh, sorry.
and it's one word.
Is it? Oh, okay. That's why. Oh, there you go. I found you.
Yay!
Man, you got 17 million views on this one. That's
Yeah.
insane. I never got 17 million views in my life.
It's literally nuts.
That's nuts. All right, guys. I'll give you the link.
Thank you guys so
If you wanna
much.
check
I
it
really
out.
appreciate it.
If you like books, that's it.
I do a lot of book content, and then if enough people want, I can start doing long form content on books too. But right now, I must just do short form stuff and like shorts. But thank you.
I think
for
they're great.
Shout out. That was so sweet.
Absolutely.
Unexpected.
Absolutely. Let's read. There's a super chat from Arcanum24.
Thank you so much.
He has been supporting the stream a lot today.
That's so kind. Thank you.
Did you know the original name of Rivendell was Imladris? I had no idea.
No, I didn't. But that's amazing. That's also stunning. And I just think everything about Lord of the Rings is so... Rivendell, I know. Herder. Wait, he's got a Boromir profile picture. Listen to Fellowship, maybe, for sure.
Saint Nicholas subbed to your
Thank you so
channel.
much, Saint
That's
Nicholas.
nice.
Oh my gosh, this is so kind. What else are they saying
Sorry.
about Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. That's awesome. Lord of the Rings is my favorite. Yes.
Lord of the Rings is great. I love Legolas.
Me too.
Legolas #1. Man, this cheese was good.
Oh, good. Do you need another one?
No, because I think I do want to order a double cheeseburger
Oh,
from
okay.
McDonald's today.
Okay, well, I can do that after I eat. My food is
Oh,
literally
yeah.
at the door.
Yeah, go get it.
And I don't want any like
No,
bugs to get on.
go get it.
Bye, chat. Have a great stream. Have a good stream. Okay, bye.
Bye. She's very excited.
I'm so excited. for
She's very
Rivendell.
excited. It's gonna be great. Metatron double bacon quarter pounders are S tier. I never had I like quarter pounders. They're pretty good. It's just sometimes I feel like today I want a quarter pounder, and other times I'm like, no, today I want a double cheeseburger. So nice couple. Thank you so much, Trembling Colors. Appreciate that. We play a lot of games together. That's I always say that because I love it. It's a nice thing to be able to. The other day we played like Diablo 4 for 4 hours, which was fun. Sauron is best villain. I mean, Sauron is really cool. The mace. You called me a Muppet. How dare you? Sorry, Muppet. You need double quota? No, that's too much, mate. That's too much. I mean, how much salt is that? The amount of sodium, I'm gonna explode. Tolkien's Middle-earth was heavily inspired by Finnish Kalevala. I don't know what Kalevala is, but nice. I personally love anything Nordic when it comes to mythology, and I love it. I love reading it. She was my wife, Gag. He was asking who was that lady. It was my wife. Have you tried the Pendragon RPG? Oh, it's the one set in Italy, is it? No, not yet. I mean, I don't really have time to play role-playing games. Whenever I do have some extra free time, I just play video games. I used to be a role-playing game guy when I was younger. I used to play a lot of D&D, like a lot of D&D for years. But these days, I just want to play games. You want his armor? Me too, real Aldrius. Thank you, Arcanum24. Thank you for the generosity. It's interesting that the Numenor in Lord of the Rings is based on the legends of Atlantis. Also, I think a lot of stuff is based on the legends of Atlantis, to be honest. People are really into that. If you ever need a travel companion in Diablo 4, let me know. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. My favorite Roman emperor is Augustus. I know it's kind of an obvious choice, but I like Augustus. Augustus is good. Do I still have my dice set? Somewhere back home, yes. I have like blue transparent dice. I think you know exactly. The cheapest one, the common ones. I didn't have anything fancy. But yeah. Fallout is alright, Apocalypse, but it's not a game that I'm like too much into. So I'll play it a bit, but it's not like my favorite. I'm usually more into the fantasy stuff from Bethesda. I did spend quite a bit of time on the browser one, Fallout, what is it called? Fallout Shelter. That was kind of fun to play. So let me see. I'm just checking the time. Where does it say? Man, I wish it said it right. Oh yeah, there we go. Good. 1 hour 22. All right. Good to see. Fallout Shelter, yeah, and I love Fallout Shelter. I put quite a, it was one of those games that you turn on, play a little bit, tell them what to do, and then close it and let them do what they need to do. I used to do that with Battle Ages as well. It was a game I liked, but then when you get to the late game, you have to spend money or they'll obliterate you. So I was like, nah. But I still occasionally play it. It was fun. Battle Ages. I like these games. Even like the browser game for Crusader Kings was great. I loved it. But it's another one that I got to a point that I had like fantastic defense, amazing walls, but then a pay-to-win player arrived and destroyed everything. And I was like, you know what, maybe not. But it was such a good game. I actually liked it. Maybe I should play, because you could play it in holiday mode, which means no war. Although the war part was fun. It was just that it was annoying. It was very pay-to-win. I love Total War series. The units are usually pretty accurate in that game, in those games. Not like, because the only thing that I would complain about is that they look like copy paste. So they all with the same armor, at least in the old ones. Maybe Rome Total War 2 wasn't as bad. Maybe there was some variety, because there should be variety when it comes to helmets, armor, weapons. I love Oblivion, fia poco, but it's always been my favorite Elder Scrolls. Skyrim didn't make me shake at all. Like, I loved Skyrim. I played it, finished it, bought every version. So I am a Skyrim fanboy, but it never took the place of Oblivion. Like Oblivion's firm place on the podium was not moved by Skyrim. The only game that made Oblivion shake a little bit was Daggerfall when I played it recently on my gaming channel, Metatron's Protectorate. That's the only game that made me like, oh, this is actually good. Like, actually, yeah. So the Oblivion remaster, I love it. I've already installed the first 5 mods. Just want to show you very briefly. So this is my gaming channel. This is my gaming channel, Metatron's Protectorate. And yeah, like I put here some D&D just for people who come here for the first time. I do collaboration with my wife. Quite a few. In fact, we're gonna do a collaboration soon on my Amiga 500. I'm gonna have her play Another World and see what she can do. But yeah, one of the videos that I made recently was, yeah, what was I talking about? Sorry, I just got confused. But I got Centurion, old school games, and oh yeah, Daggerfall. So I made a video on Daggerfall, and I played it for like 4 hours, 5 hours. It's a very long video, and I absolutely loved it. Yeah, you see, I even titled it Daggerfall is my favorite Elder Scrolls. Now, is it really? When I played it, I thought so. It's 2 hours. I'm like, oh, this is the best. But then when I went back to Oblivion after it, I'm like, oh, I don't know though. Oblivion is Oblivion. But yeah, there is a lot of nostalgia in on this channel. I love it. I love posting on it. Megalomania, Diablo 2, and then again collaboration with the wife. It's a good game. It's a good channel. A lot of horror because I like horror. And yeah, it's a good channel. I think it's a good channel, so I'm gonna put it here and link it. I'm gonna link it everywhere. And if you want, I would appreciate. Amiga 500, oh yeah. Thank you, Ander, for supporting the stream. I appreciate. Metatron, have you read the Red Rising books? No, I haven't. If not, you should. If you would, no, I haven't. But I'll write it down into the little pool of ideas that I always write during live streams. Because finally, I decided to, why not? Since you guys always have these good ideas. Shogun 2 is really good. I didn't put enough hours in it though. I should. Valheim is probably the one game that I have the best memories of when it comes to like more modern gaming. Valheim, oh, I love that game. I love Valheim. In fact, I want to do, the only mod I install in Valheim is first person mod. I do not want to change the textures or graphics because it's wonderful as is. That's how I want it. I love that it has a little bit of a Minecrafty texture look to it, but then again, the lighting is good. It's good. I mean, to me, it's perfect as is. I just installed the first person for immersion. And I do want to have a full playthrough that I will do both on Twitch and on the gaming channel. I'll do it. I don't know when, but I'll do it. Thank you, Trembling Colors, for the support. Would you ever do a video on the Aeneid? Was that a myth with the Romans before Virgil wrote? So here's an interesting thing about Greek mythology. The books, to me, are not to be considered only fiction. They're not. They are historically inspired fiction. For instance, the Iliad, to me, is not a book of fiction. And I know that people disagree with me, but that's just my point, because there is so much overlapping evidence that has come out later that we are like, ooh, that character they mentioned, I think that was real. That war, yeah, that happened. That ship, yeah, that thing did happen. There is just so much that I think it's, yeah, there is some mythological touch to it. Absolutely there is. But I think these books contain a lot of this information that they present is not made up. That's what I think. So yeah. Thank you Stefan for liking the videos. Video fantastici e molto istruttivi e divertenti ascoltarli. Buona serata anche a te, grazie. So he said he likes the videos. They are educational and entertaining, and they're fun to watch or listen, he actually said. So maybe he puts my videos in the background, I suppose, while he does something else, which is a great way to watch content. I do it too. Usually recently I've been watching MVG, Modern Vintage Gamer. I put him in the background and then I do something else. I need to start painting my miniatures, my Warhammer miniatures again. Let me see. Thank you, Ernia, for the donation. Have you heard of the archaeological discovery presenting evidence of an ancient garden beneath the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem? No, so I'm writing it down. We'll look at it. But when you say ancient garden, is it like are they trying to say that that's Eden? Because I don't believe Eden was in Jerusalem, personally. Like, I do believe it's probably, the area is probably real, historical. I would even remove the probably. It is real. Somewhere in the Middle East, maybe the Fertile Crescent. Because they mention, in the Bible, they mention rivers that are real. And if you look at the rivers, it can help you pinpoint a location that is probable for the Gan Eden, biblical Gan Eden or Garden of Eden. I wouldn't say it's under Jerusalem though, so if that's what they're talking about, I don't know. Unless it's a different thing. Maybe it's a different thing. Who knows? Thank you, Kapena, for supporting the stream. Metatron, with which ancient philosopher would you most like to have on a live stream if you could? Ooh, assuming they could speak English. Man, well, if they couldn't, we can get Luke Ranieri, you can speak to them. Oh, gosh. Socrates? Maybe? I don't know, it's difficult to choose. Plato? Maybe, just, well, a few things to ask them, man. Like, did you actually mean this? Like, I would have Plato on just to prove some people wrong. But like, people say you meant this, but did you? Aristotle. Let's have Aristotle. Let's say Aristotle, guys. That's my last. But I don't know, there are quite a few. I can't wait for the Deep North biome. Ooh, are they making that for Valheim? Are they still producing content for it? I'm glad to hear, because it took them forever to do the freaking Mistlands. Forever. Did they ever do the volcanic one? I don't even remember what it's called. I remember they were talking about it. One thing that annoyed me with Valheim is that if you have a seed world, right, and let's say you build your city and your buildings and your towers and your villages, and then they add a new biome, I don't know why they don't attach it to it. They are like, no, you need to create a new seed, which I get it. It's fine, because I mean, I always do it anyways for fun, so it's not a big deal. But when you have like a village that you put a lot of work in and then it's a new biome, it's annoying that I don't have the choice to be like, do I have to actually start all over again? Not with the character, because you can jump biomes, but with like the city and village, and that's the ash. Yeah, you say it's a joke? Oh no. Like, did they not complete it? Because I thought the idea was really cool. Ashlands, yeah. You can explore it and fight the boss. I see. Yeah, I should probably start playing it. Do a new playthrough of Valheim. Should totally do that. I love Warhammer, my friend, Oliver. I'm a massive Warhammer gamer. I'm actually looking for a table. I want to build my own Warhammer table and have it here permanently, with like the grass and the trees will be assemblable, and the hills you can assemble differently. But maybe like you could put rivers, and then we can have battles here in the afternoon. But basically, my house is already a leisure center as is. It's like a gaming paradise. But I do need a Warhammer table. I absolutely need that like nice rectangular shape. Make it big. Make it count. So that would be a painting stream, maybe on the gaming channel. I don't think anyone would watch it. Who knows? Thank you, the Dr. Phi, for the support, for the donation. King Pyrrhus of Epirus versus Rome. Ooh, watched a video on it. Did not know that was where the term Pyrrhic victory. Oh yes, of course, the Pyrrhic victory, meaning like a victory with a lot of losses, came from. Have any videos on it? I don't have any videos on it. Would be nice. It's one of those good ideas that YouTube wouldn't support. Maybe for Patreon. I need to start making more videos on Patreon, and I will, because I just have to put anything that gets censored. I should just still produce it and put it on Patreon. That's what I should do. That's what I should do. It's a way out, isn't it? You're always partial to elves. Me too. Elves are my favorite. I am a high elf main and Britannia secondary army for fantasy. Man, my Bretonian army is gorgeous, fully painted, massive amount of knights. I could field enough archers. I have like, I don't know, 200 minis of archers. I could field enough archers to reproduce a battle of Agincourt with Bretonians, to be honest. Thank you, Abdullah, for the support. What do you think? Are the Persians the most hated people among the Romans because of the Persian method of executing Crassus? Maybe, but then again, do you mean that the population? Or it's a good question, but I wonder. Probably not. I wouldn't say the most hated. But yeah. I mean, Persians, it's such an interesting topic. How they discuss, how they talk about. Persians had a fantastic. We've been looking into the Persians lately with my lead researcher, Dr. Canestrelli, the one that is a figment of my imagination, according to my haters. And the Persians had a fantastic way to classify other people's populations, and they were really good at it. Like, we've been looking at the way Persians discussed the different ethnic groups in Greece, and they're really good. Like, they tell you there is this people, like the Ioni, I don't know how to say that in English, but anyways, you have the Dorians, you have the Ion, how do you say that in English? Whatever. There is this specific type, Greek population, but then they would divide them. The ones are like on the other side of the sea, and the ones on this side of the sea. Like, they would tell you, and then they would tell you their customs. Persians were really good at giving you information about ethnic groups that were outside the sphere of influence. They were really good at doing it. They must have had like excellent intel. Ionians, thank you guys. Yeah, very knowledgeable. Yeah, I was surprised. There's stuff, and they considered Macedonians Greek, for instance. They don't distinguish them from the Greeks. For the Persians, the Macedonians are Greek, and I agree with that. I know this will get me some hate, but hey, I tell you what I think. Talking about that, I saw a video, guys. I'd like to review it with you. History Hit just published a video, and I wanted to see what you guys think about it, what we think about it. Let's have a look at the sections it has, and we could watch it together and give some direct opinions, see what you think. That could be fun. So let me show you. Just give me 1 second, 1 moment. Let me reorganize the chat very quickly. I'm just gonna create some space here. 1 second. Glory to Pompey. Okay, so now I see the chat correctly. 1 moment. There we go. There we go. Okay. Reorganizing the situation here. All right. So chat needs to be moved a little left, and I'm gonna share my screen with you very quickly. Yeah, it's history hit or history miss. Exactly, Daniel. I know you're a member of the channel. I'll use, as usual, the last 30 minutes of this streaming session will be members only, just to say thank you to the members. So if you're a member or you're considering becoming a member, it's a good time to do it, because then we'll have a 30 minutes just read members' chats and give you an opportunity for me to guarantee that I see your comments. That's what I've been doing lately. So just letting you know. Anyways, let me show you. Is History Hit a good channel? History Hit is hit or miss. Sometimes they have excellent guests and make very good videos. Other times they have had guests that did horrible. So it really depends. It's a hit or miss. I don't know what to say. That's how it is. But check this out. So what we have here, let me increase the volume and let me decrease myself. So what we have here is, we got this video. We have Roel Kanindijk, who is the ditch guy. And sometimes I've disagreed with him, but overall I consider him to be an excellent academic. It's just that when he talks about Rome, we disagree sometimes. And when it comes to Greece, I mean, he's great. I really like him. It's just that there are situations in which I've disagreed. And if I disagree, I disagree, even if it's the freaking president of the Pope, whatever. I'll still disagree. But he's a very good presenter, very knowledgeable. And then we have him. His name is Matt, I don't remember the name. Let's see, Roel Kanindijk, debate. They did not tell us. Oh, Tristan. That's it. Tristan Hughes. There we go. So they're going to debate. What are they going to do? And I'm interested in seeing this debate and providing my own opinion, because they have a board and it goes between strongly agree to strongly disagree. And I'm kind of curious to see what I think in here. So sections of disagreements or debate. We have an introduction. We'll watch it. We have the Trojan War actually happened. Now, I would put strongly agree here. So I am looking forward to see. I see you're looking forward to it. Oh, we're going to have a good time. I want to see what they say. Because if they're here to debate, it means one of them will say, probably, unless they both agree, but it's long, so they must have different positions. One of them doesn't think that the Trojan War happened, so I'm going to disagree with them. I want to see why. Maybe they'll change my mind. Then we have the Spartans were the best warriors in ancient world. We'll see what they say, but when it comes to Spartans, he's the guy. And then Athens was a democracy. Ooh, wow, guys. Was Athens a democracy? Well, yes, my answer will be absolutely, but I guess if they debate, it probably means that they are discussing the difference between modern democracy and ancient democracies, which are different. So that would be interesting to see how they present it. Trojan horse. Ooh, we're going to talk about the Trojan horse, my friend. And then Achilles will beat Hercules in a fight. That's interesting. Well, Greek architecture would have looked tacky. I absolutely categorically disagree. I think Greek architecture would have looked amazing. But anyways, a lot of sections, I never react to the entire thing. But I like the beginnings. So how about we just jump right into it, guys? Let's see what happens. Let's go.
Is there another?
Yeah,
exactly. It doesn't make sense if he lived. He wouldn't have lived. He would have drank himself to death at some point, as indeed he did. And especially Achilles, I always think is like, we shouldn't look up to this guy. He's a terrible, terrible person. Like Hades famously is basically just a manager of the underworld.
Let's see. So in the intro, the ditchman just spoke, but he didn't say anything. I'm looking for the fight. I'm looking for a fight. I want some blood here. Blood and iron.
Hello, I'm Tristan Hughes. I'm the host of the Ancients podcast, and I'm delighted to be rejoined by the one and only, the legend, Dr. Roald Kanijnendijk.
Absolutely.
Roald, how are you doing?
Doing great.
Well, good. Okay, very laconic in your answer there. Straight away. Didn't give me much time to breathe. We're back in person to do, well, we're the guinea pigs, really, for a new format.
New format.
Which is agree to disagree. Am I right there? Agree to disagree? Yes, that's it. They're nodding.
Nice.
They're nodding. Kind of makes sense with strongly agree to strongly disagree.
Right. See if we can do that.
Well, it's regarding ancient Greece, and we've got here a selection of questions for it. Don't really know what's coming up, but I think it's going to be, they really want the gut reactions. So let's see what we got. Oxford academic versus someone who just interviews people about ancient history day in, day out. So, all right, you ready?
Let's go. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Okay, I'll pick the first one. The Trojan War actually happened.
Yes, strongly agree.
Disagree. Can I put
Oh
that here?
my gosh! We're starting strong here. It's literally blood and iron, my friends. He disagree. Why does he disagree? Trojan War he thinks is mythological? Ooh, we'll have a good time here. Well, let's see why. Why is the Trojan War? It didn't happen. Yeah, he's looking at the. Well, let's see. Let's see. He's good. Ditch guy is good. So let's see if he changes my mind.
Here, I don't know if this. Can we do strongly disagree or strongly disagree?
I'm only going to put disagree
Forward nonsense.
actually, because I think there's a way that you can.
There is, of course. I mean, there's the contemporary material from the Bronze Age that suggests that there was a conflict. You know, okay,
Yeah.
so the Greeks went over the sea, sure.
Yeah.
They had some interaction with the region, possibly there was some raiding. There may even have been a war.
To give context, when he says the region, it means the Anatolian Peninsula. Because do remember that we do know what, I'm sure they're going to say it, but we do know that, historical Troy has been identified with the city of Wilusa. The city of Wilusa, it's in Turkey, specifically, I'm looking at your comments, specifically on the hill of Hisalik. It was found by Schliemann between 1870 and 1890. I did look into this deeply. That's why I'm so strongly in favor of the idea that it did happen. You say there were seafarers, pharaohs. So we know Troy is there. When he says the Greeks, I would say, yeah, we know the Mycenaeans and the Achaeans absolutely went over the sea into that region and specifically participated in anti-Hittite war. There is a whole league about it. Maybe I'll mention it. I don't want to speak too much. But yeah, Troy is like, yeah. So the war happened.
But this isn't the Trojan War as we know it. Like, we have no reason to believe that events happened the way they happened, that there was a 10-year siege, that there were specific figures involved. I mean, all of that stuff.
I disagree monumentally here. Ooh, this is gonna be a long one, guys. We know the siege absolutely happened. The siege happened. We know that. We don't know, like, we normally date it to 1334 BC. Is that a correct dating? Who knows? But if you have ever seen the description of Wilusa, historical Troy, there are two specific archaeological sectors, Troy A and Troy 7A, I think it was. See if I can find... I need to see if I have the document somewhere, because of course I never get stuff prepared. Troy 7A, I think it was, yeah. Anyways, we have Troy 6 is the one with imposing bastions that are exactly how they are described in the Iliad. And we know there was a siege. And in Troy 6, we know there was a fire, and there is evidence of earthquake. And all of this is compatible with the description in the Iliad. And the other thing about it, we know that there was a specific princess that was married to someone in that specific area, and that created conflicts between the Greeks and the Hittite. And because of this city, like, there is a lot of overlapping. And if you read there are 22 documents in the capital of Hattusha, which is the capital of the Hittite Empire. And if you read the documents, they specifically mention the Mycenaeans, and they give us names. And when the Hittitologists translate or transliterate these names, we have Priam, we have Alexander as one of the puppet kings that were used by the Hittite on Troy because Troy was taken. There is so much evidence that I don't know why. Maybe he's joking, maybe he's trolling, and he's going to say, no, I'm joking. And at this point, I don't know. I'm confused, honestly, because the archaeological evidence supports precisely the description in the Iliad as we have it. Atarsia is one of the leaders with 100 chariots, absolutely Mycenaean, that goes into the coastline and starts raiding that area. Muppet King instead of Puppet King. But anyways, I'll let him speak. I'm already speaking too much.
The only person that we know who might have been involved is this figure called Alexander, who appears in some Hittite texts, who's Paris.
He's not the only one. He's not the only one. He's not the only one, Mr. Canine. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's not the only one mentioned.
That's it. And so, you can say that there may have been conflicts between the Achaeans and the Trojans roughly in the period of the Bronze Age, but that has nothing to do with the story that we know.
It is exactly the story that we know. I'm gonna have to put it on the thumbnail, guys. I disagree. I'm gonna have to put it CH191. I found some of my stuff. All right. Geographic coordinates of historical Troy are confirmed on the document CH191 from the Hittite archives in the capital, Hattusha. Confirmed that that's the place. So that's another thing that we have. But yeah. I'll see if I can find another one, but let's continue.
That's a completely separate thing.
Look, I understand your strength of disagreement for that question, but playing devil's advocate is, yes, of course, when you go to the particular characters, almost certainly didn't exist, or, very different.
They did exist.
Different who they were, apart from this Alexander figure from Hittite texts. But for the context, historical context, there's evidence of contact between mainland Greece and what is today Western Turkey. I was talking to Dr. Emily Hauser a few weeks ago, and we were talking about Cassandra, but also this idea in Hittite records, there's this idea of princesses, but also being like kind of priestesses at the same time, so there's that tradition, and of people being taken back to Greece from Western Turkey and being in like the Mycenaean palace, almost as kind of a political prison.
There are also Mycenaean swords that were found in the context of specific interaction. I don't know if you ever heard, there is a League of 22 cities, a confederation of city-states within the Anatolian coastline. And they were trying to get together and unite against the Hittite in an anti-imperial expansionistic Hittite confederation. So they were trying to be like, these Hittites need to stop. And the city of Troy, Wilusa, initially was part of this, but then they leave it. They stay neutral, and then they become a vassal of the Hittites. And this whole confederation, it's a continuous set of raids and wars between the Mycenaeans and the Hittites, and it absolutely involved historic Troy. And then the Hittites have to reconquer it. And when they reconquer, there is a mention, actually, that's what I was telling you about. Mehmed II, Sultan of the Ottoman Turks, even in the 17th century, when he goes into Wilusa, so the historical Troy, as he enters that area, he performs, this is all written, he performs a ritual and says, yeah, because the Greeks, it's good that we have control of the city because the Greeks once came here to fight. We know that at least up to the 17th century, they knew that was Troy. And then this kind of gets lost and recovered by Schliemann in the late 1800s. There is so much that you can say about this. Yeah, Mehmed, yeah, exactly. And he specifically mentioned, because the Greeks were here and they set this place on fire. There is the catalogue of ships that is mentioned in the Iliad, which it's perfectly overlappable with the ships that were catalogued by the Hittites when it comes to these specific operations, raid operations of the Mycenaeans that we know happened historically. There is a lot.
I guess some of that, so they are brought back. So there is historical context for some of the stories that are associated with the Trojan War, and archaeologically, if the site of Hisarlik in Turkey, which is recognised to be Troy,
exactly, exactly,
there seems to be archaeological evidence that there was, Troy was violently destroyed around that time. So I do think
he's absolutely correct. I'm with Tristram on this one. I was expecting to be with Canindike, sir, but I'm actually with Tristram on this one.
There would have been Trojan Wars, but not the Trojan War.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it.
Sorry, did I say 17th century? I meant 1700s. Apologies for that.
That's exactly the distinction. So a lot of scholars say that there is a historical Trojan War. There's a Trojan War. Maybe there have been Trojan Wars. But that's quite different from saying, Helen was abducted and therefore, the Atreides went and got...
That is mentioned. The princess is mentioned in the sources on the Akkadian side. So maybe he's really good with ancient Greece, but maybe didn't look into this when it comes to the Akkadian aspect of it and the Hittite aspect of it. Maybe that's what's missing. I'm starting to think.
Gathered all the Greeks. I mean, that is a very specific narrative, which is a story. And we can, obviously the Greeks retold and reshaped that story over time. And we don't need to see a historical truth in that.
Can we say a story loosely based on a historical base from hundreds of years earlier?
But we can't prove it, right? Yeah. It's more like...
I mean, archaeology and textual is sources. I do think you can prove it quite confidently, sir. Thank you for subscribing with Prime, the Ron. I appreciate that. So yeah. And just to tell you about something, here is something that you can't prove. Okay, so everything we've mentioned so far, you can absolutely prove. But there is something that I sometimes like to present when it comes to this, that you cannot prove, but it's still intriguing. The Trojan horse. Ooh, let me tell you about that. Let me tell you about the Trojan horse. I'm going to put myself full screen for that one, though. So you know how within the Iliad, they mentioned the horse made of wood, then the soldiers got inside, the Trojans like it, take it in, and that's what allows the soldiers to break through regardless of the wall and the door, right? That they couldn't break through, they couldn't do it. Now, what if I tell you that there is a different way to read it? And again, I can't prove it, but it is interesting. What if the horse, because you could be like, yeah, no, the horse didn't happen. I can agree with you, but what if the horse was symbolic? And when I say, what I mean by that is, there is evidence in Troy A, there is evidence that there was an earthquake. And it is we know that this happened. The evidence is that it's archaeological in historical Troy. And it is possible that we know that this earthquake caused damage to the walls. And maybe because of this earthquake, the enemy forces that were sieging could enter Troy and took it. Why do I connect that to the horse? Why, like, if that's what happened, why would someone writing a text of whatever beautiful text that it is, the Iliad, why wouldn't they just say it was an earthquake? Why would they come up with the idea of the horse? Because the horse is one of the symbols of Poseidon, is strongly connected in classical antiquity with Poseidon. And Poseidon is the god of what? Exactly, St. Nicholas got me right immediately. Poseidon is the god of the sea and earthquakes. Now, am I reading too much into the text? I don't think so, because, again, I can't prove it. But think about it this way. To us, it's not obvious. It's not an obvious connection at all. For us, yeah, Poseidon is the god of the sea, that's it. But he is the god of the earthquake, and the horse is a symbol. To us, it might not be an obvious connection, but to people in ancient Greece, I think it would have been. And let me tell you this much. If I told you, if there is this story, I want to tell you about the story that happened, imagine. And I'm telling you, it happened in the Middle Ages, and maybe some medieval people, they converted the city, okay? What if I told you, and the lamb was what managed to, they created a lamb, and people saw this lamb, they opened the doors, and everyone was converted. And then a dove flew over them as they were baptized into Christianity. Well, for anyone, even if you're not a Christian, the lamb is a reference to Jesus, and the dove is a reference to the Holy Ghost, and to us these are quite obvious. And I'm sure that I could find other elements, even with pop culture, and I could tell you something about the kryptonite, and immediately I'm talking about Superman, or I could tell you about Bat, and I'm talking about Batman. Well, for someone in classical antiquity, horse, earthquakes, and Neptune, Poseidon, Poseidonas, was that obvious. And that's why I'm thinking maybe, sorry, I mispronounced it, the lamb, thank you. So I'm just saying maybe, because the earthquake actually did happen, and the earthquake is connected to the horse and Poseidon, maybe this is something that I could present, and you could tell me you can't prove it, so maybe not. Cool. But all of the other archaeological stuff that we mentioned, and the mentionings in the discussion in the 28 texts that we find in the capital of the Hittite Empire, that is 100% archaeological proof. That is proof. So that's how they're both interesting, by the way. Just because something can't be proven, it doesn't mean that it's wrong a priori, but it also means, okay, but we need to be careful how much weight we give to something like this. It's interesting, but that's it. But then again, when it comes to all the rest, I think is not, the evidence is strong. The evidence is very strong. But that's where we are. Hittite for the win. I agree, 17.
Like, okay, there are plausible reasons to think that this may have some grounding in whatever, but there's no memory of it. Right? And this is an important thing that we always stress, right? Whoever composed the poems, the figure we call Homer, didn't know there was a Bronze Age, right? There is no understanding of Mycenaean society or politics or this palatial culture, the material culture, he doesn't know it.
Are you sure? Would there be the thing about the collapse of the Bronze Age and knowing that, from hundreds of years
that
earlier?
isn't the story, right? Like there's a city being destroyed and then everybody goes home, with the prizes that they wanted. So unless you want to argue that this is a reflection of Mycenaean raiding culture, which is, possible.
Yes, there we go. At least I appreciate he said possible. I do think that that's exactly what it is.
Some kind of memory, but it's much more likely that they're describing something they recognize, because that's how you keep a story alive, right? You make it fit your contemporary understanding.
Okay, the only thing I'm willing to agree with the Ditchman in this case is that, yeah, they probably embellished. I'll grant him that. They definitely embellished. Thank you, Walter White, and respect to you back. You're in Serbia? That's very cool. That's very cool. How are things on Twitch, by the way? Paula Atreides sandworm when? Man, I love Dune. Dune reference. There you go. That's a good reference right there. If you're talking about Dune, and I start talking about the worm, and if you have read it,
So that's what we're looking at. It's a story about the early archaic period, which has some traces of an oral tradition that goes much further back. Sure, I mean, it has that.
Thank you for the super chat, Higashi Martial Arts. Otsukaresama Kyodai. More Japanese content, please. Oh, I will. I'm thinking of doing a nice series on the second channel, 100%. So thank you for the support. I appreciate the super chat.
We differed straight away, but I must admit I had that little bit of caution there.
No,
but,
of course. I mean, it's fair enough. I mean, some people are persuaded. Some people believe this is enough.
I'm persuaded.
But that's
I'm
the question,
persuaded.
do you think that or not? So
All
we
right,
move these back?
Yeah, move that back.
So,
That's
there
not
we
needed
go.
anymore.
All right,
is that
next.
how it goes?
Yeah,
Excellent.
come
We look
on,
forward to
let's
that.
do it, man.
The Spartans were the best warriors in the ancient world.
So this is going to be interesting. I do want to say one thing at the end of that. You know how he said he doesn't believe it also because there isn't any collective memory that has remained, but then Tristan points out, well, yeah, but there is collective memory of the raidings that the Mycenaeans did, and then he's like, oh, well, yeah, if you look at it, and sure. But imagine for a moment that there was no collective memory whatsoever. That still doesn't mean that something hasn't happened. For instance, Pompeii, for a moment I want to mention that. You know, the volcano, right? That wasn't the first time that the volcano exploded and erupted and did the damage it did. It's just that the previous time was prehistoric. So there was no collective, now we know that happened. Geologists confirmed that. So there was no collective memory, and that's why the Romans didn't think. They thought it was just a mountain. Also because before it exploded, the volcano didn't look like a volcano. It looks like now because the peak exploded. And so now it has this concave shape, and you're like, yeah, that's a volcano. But in Roman times, it did not look like that. It looked just like a mountain. And they did not have any collective memory of the prehistoric eruptions. But they still happened. So that's another thing that it's interesting to present as an information, but it is what it is. Thank you, Leonidas Pata, for being a member for 5 months. You're the man. Was waiting for you to react to this one. I found it particularly interesting. Great work on the videos as always. Thank you so much. Of course, this will be this reaction will become its own video, edited, corrected, and I will add some information, show you some good editing and images of what I talk about. It will be posted on the channel next month. So even if you missed the beginning of it, don't worry about it.
Ancient world.
In the ancient world is what it says.
Oh yeah. Let me listen to the statement again. Do I agree or not?
Oh, is that how it
Nice one.
goes?
Yeah,
Excellent.
come
We look
on,
forward to that.
Let's do it, man.
The Spartans were the best warriors in the ancient world.
Yeah, ancient world is too broad. I'm gonna say no. In the ancient world makes it too broad. We're great warriors, but ancient world is a bit too much. Thank you, P. Cooper, for supporting the stream. And maybe you should do a tier list of controversial historical theories using a set of tiers from likely to nonsense. I actually love that idea. That is a wonderful idea. I just wrote it down, made a note of it. Thank you very much.
Ancient world.
In the ancient world is what it says. I mean, we're gonna get.
Okay,
Is there another?
Sit down on the table.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, we don't want to break the fourth wall too much there, do we? But it's the ancient world.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is a broad. That's a
quite
bold
something,
claim.
isn't it?
That includes the Romans. I mean, that already. I'm like, yeah, okay, then. And not just the Romans, the Persians are included as well in that.
Yeah. I mean, they were for some time perhaps the greatest warriors in the Peloponnese, which you could probably argue, although our guys might disagree. But no, there's obviously, I don't think anyone could seriously claim that they were, more successful or better trained or better equipped than some of the great, professional world-conquering armies of that period: Persians, Macedonians.
Say Romans. All right, boom. Yeah, okay, great. A round of applause for Mr. Kanindike's intellectual honesty. I love that. Because he's a Greece guy, he's a Spartan expert. But then again, yeah, I mean, Romans, Macedonians, absolutely, they were more professional, and therefore they would have been better warriors, 100%.
Even you have all sorts.
Maybe
of people
1-to-1.
Could have claimed to
talk.
a better record of victories, or just generally taking war more seriously than a militia of leisured landowners who did some training every now and then to affirm their status.
But it's important to kind of clear
the fact that I remember him saying this, that he doesn't think that the Spartans trained. They only trained every now and then. I don't know if I agree with that. Like, I would need to see exactly on what evidence. They are a militia. They're not professional like the Romans. But did they really just train every now and then? I know he feels strongly about this. So, since I didn't look deeply into it, I will refer to his expertise. It does sound strange to me, though, to think that.
The myth from the reality, isn't it? That, I mean, the Spartans, there was a lot of training, and mental resilience was a big thing when they're growing up, but it's not weapons training, like they're not a professional army, which is sometimes the thoughts that people have when they think of ancient Sparta.
He's right.
That's right. And so, I mean, you have to imagine these Spartans are still a militia, just like the militias of all the other Greek states, but they take pride in setting aside, they have all their time available to be citizens, to be members, contributing members of their community. Right?
Because
That's
of the
how
slaves,
they have, they maintain the society with a slave underclass that lets them live a life of leisure. And they are supposed to devote that life to good service to the state. And that is both in council and in war and in other ways. They try to be the best citizens they can be. And obviously part of
Yes, he shines when he talks about ancient Greece.
that is that they can devote themselves to some physical exercise, and that in wartime they seem to have done some training in the classical period. But that is, I'm always drawing on this cliche of, the one-eyed man, land of the blind. That is the Spartans. I mean, they have the advantage. And Aristotle says exactly this. He says, they had the advantage because they trained and all the others didn't. But when the others started to train, the advantage evaporated immediately.
And it's interesting, just ancient world, so broad. I mean, Spartan warrior against a Roman legionary, I think it's, Roman legionary wins that. It says it's professional army.
I mean, the Spartans very cleverly became good friends of the
Well,
Romans as soon as they grew.
Exactly.
I think we are going to agree on that one, strongly disagree. So, but yes.
Cool.
So I guess we'll move on to that.
I don't know how that's possible, but only now I actually noticed the brass Corinthian helmet that they've got here in the background. I don't know how I didn't see it. I mean, I did. I just didn't recognize it, I guess. I don't know why.
You dispose that
this
card
one
however you want. Okay.
Go on.
Don't hurt the cameraman at the same time. This is an interesting one. Athens was a democracy.
Yes.
I mean, Athens
Strongly agree. I mean, yes.
was a democracy. You have to. We're going to strongly
you're going to
agree.
strongly agree.
I mean,
Okay.
there's an important caveat. So, okay, fine, we'll take.
No, well,
Strongly
stick with
agree
your
in
gut,
the
there you go.
literal sense that the word demokratia
Yes.
was invented to describe the Athenian system.
Yes.
So you can obviously say words don't mean what they mean, but if you can say democracy exists as a concept, it exists because the Athenians had a very developed political system that they called democracy.
But if we're saying that democracy then is the same as today, it's completely different.
Completely different.
Okay, a very good point. Did you notice that he said demokratia? So I think in modern Greek they say demokratia, but it is true that if you look at classical Attic pronunciation, it would be demokratia because it's a pitched language, whatever. He was using classical. So if you're a modern Greek, it will sound different to you, but I think he's doing that on purpose. In modern Greek, it's different. And I love both, by the way, ancient and modern. They sound different. Anyways, what I wanted to say is that they are correct. Of course, they know what they're talking about. When it comes to democracy, ancient Greek democracy is a form of direct democracy or pure democracy. Instead, modern democracies are representative. So it's different. They work very differently. I'll expand on that, but I want to let them talk.
Different. Yeah. So it's a very different system. It built on very different values, different ideology. Obviously, in Athens, you have a system in which all freeborn male citizens have equal rights to have access to power, same voting rights, the same position before the law.
Is it over 30 or over 18? I can't remember.
Over 18.
It's over 18, okay.
When you get 30, you can be general. There are a couple of things that are released based on status and age.
Right.
But generally, you all have the same rights, and that is what democracy means. There is no property requirement, right? But no Greek state ever contemplated giving the same rights to women. That
True.
just isn't a thing in Athenian democracy ever. And also, I mean, it's a slave state. It's a slave society. They have huge numbers of enslaved people doing all sorts of terrible things for them. And it's been argued even that the reason they can be a democracy, have this democratic ideology that they're all equals, is because the worst jobs, the most menial work, the most demeaning and horrible and risky work, like for instance working the silver mines, was done by enslaved people. So no one.
Okay, so I agree and disagree. So there is a lot to unpack here. It's interesting. So let's have a look. First, he mentioned so here's the two elements that I wanted to discuss very briefly before we continue. So first, he talked about who was allowed to vote within the direct form of democracy or pure democracy of ancient Athens, which, by the way, lasted for about 2 centuries. So it did work, although eventually just stopped working. But whatever. So who could do it? Who could vote? And then he says the reason why they could have a democratic state was because of slavery. And I want to agree and disagree a little bit. So the first part, It's very interesting. So here is a difference, in fact, between modern democracies and ancient democracies. In the ancient period in Athens, who could vote? Men could vote that were citizen. So if you're not a citizen, you can't vote. That's similar to modern democracies, whether it's an actual democracy, whether it's a republic, because then we can discuss about the difference between a republic and a democracy all you want. We can talk about it if you want. Rome, for instance, is a republic, and it's representative. So Rome is different from ancient Greece. In fact, I would say that the Roman system is closer to the way American works now, because in Rome, it is a form of democracy in the sense that people vote, but they don't vote the policies. They vote their representatives that then decide the policies. And so that's why I'm saying the American system is similar. The people choose their representative, but then it's the representatives that choose the policies, which makes it closer to the republic in Rome. Whereas ancient Greece, you had a body of citizens and they all vote the policies. It's different, isn't it? Yeah. Not to mention Rome has a Senate, exactly. But what's interesting about this is that, as we say, you have to be a citizen to vote in ancient Greece. You have to be male. If you're a woman, you cannot vote, whereas today women can vote. So big difference there. Another area of overlap, however, is that children couldn't vote. And that's the same today. Children cannot vote. And the last thing is that slaves couldn't vote. So he mentioned the slaves. They didn't have any right to vote. And we could say, Today, can slaves vote? Well, slaves have been abolished, so there is no slavery. I know that people will bring the loop that you technically could be considered a slave if you go to prison. I get it, but we are discussing about actual slavery. And today we don't have slaves, so in the Athenian sense, and therefore, that doesn't matter. So So in reality, the only real difference is that women can't vote in ancient Greece. That's really the main difference, I would say. Now let's discuss the thing about slavery. Was slavery necessary for a democracy to form? It depends, because I understand where he's going with this. People have free time because they had slaves. Sure, not everyone has slaves though, so kind of depends. But the primitive democracies, then I would say no. Because primitive democracies, believe it or not, exist in prehistorical times. The primitive democracy, where you have a sort of a council of elders that decide things and they may be elected by the tribe, these develop naturally. But then mostly in hunter-gatherers, that's when you study the data. But then when they become settled and they expand and the populations grow, also because of farming, that's when the most typical type of governance is either oligarchy, so power to the rich, or specifically monarchy. So monarchies become more popular when we move from hunter-gatherers into settled farmers' populations. But primitive democracies did develop in hunter-gatherers and smaller tribes without the need of slaves. So then it would depend which category and which tier of democracy we're talking about. This is fascinating, by the way. I'm enjoying this video.
One had to say, yeah, okay, we're all equals, but I work in the mines and you own a big estate and race horses all day. Actually, there is this sort of baseline that Athenian citizens didn't have to do that kind of work, and that lets them think that they're all equal.
But they love it also by saying, like, oh, but we were the rowers in the fleet, right? So, which is also seen as a really hard physical job, but it's not being.
But it's not demeaning, right? That's the thing. It's not gonna kill you unless you're unless you're in battle.
I mean, the only other reason that I say agree is because with Alexander the Great and what happens next. I mean, it's not always a democracy in ancient history. There are many times when actually it's run by an oligarchy, especially after the time of Alexander the Great, when you have these various Macedonian generals,
kings,
and leaders vying for power in the
royalty.
Greek mainland, including Athens. Sometimes they install, either they have a garrison in the city near the Piraeus, or they have an oligarchy which is more favourable to Macedonian overlordship, more so than democracy. Democracy is normally seen, especially after Alexander the Great's death, with the people who want to be free of Macedonian control. But when you've got a bigger power in the area, and Athens is just a city-state, sometimes their democracy is taken away, or it is very much censored, maybe the way. bits are taken out of it, the more troublesome bits of the Athenian democracy are removed,
Yes.
so that they're easier to control. So it's like they say, hey, it's democracy, but it's not really. It's the Macedonians or whoever.
It's a democracy we leave to the rich to manage,
Yes,
which is
exactly.
essentially what happens
Yeah.
in the Hellenistic period. Yeah.
So
So
that's
he's
like-
right at that point. Is it an oligarchy? You say let me see. Oh no, of course. Halsey is bringing up a good point. Of course, ancient slavery is not the same as chattel slavery. They work differently. There are some areas of overlap, the lack of freedom, but they work differently. Nice helmet. Yeah, helmet is kind of cool.
I say agree, but I get what you mean with strongly agree. But as you say, very different to today. Okay.
Wow.
Yes, we go back to the next one.
Let's see. Achilles would beat Hercules in a fight.
You know what? This is fascinating. The only thing, thank you very much, Caveat, for supporting the stream. I appreciate. All right, I think I'll have to do it in two parts because I'm starting to get a little too much hungry. But it's a fascinating video. I will definitely make a part 2 if you guys like it, and we can continue it on a different stream. I'm not stopping the stream just yet, by the way. I'm just going to stop the React part of the stream because I don't want to do too much React. But this was fun. This is pretty fun. And how about I make a video, guys? What do you think? Let me know in the comments right now, like in chat, if you want me to make a video where I explain all different forms of government, theocracy, oligarchy, early dictatorships, I want to say republics, and then monarchy, like actually seeing all of these different types of, and making like an interesting comprehensive video that explains it. That could be fun. So we're back to the chat now. Let me see. History Kid, thank you for supporting the stream. Hey, could you check out Leonidas Sparta documentary at Thermopylae called "Go Tell the Spartans"? Yeah, I watched some of it. I always watch Leonidas Sparta. I've mentioned him a few times on the channel. This guy is in it. Yeah, I know, they collaborate a lot, and it takes you through the battlefield. Super cool, and I'd love you to react. Maybe it's a very nice reaction idea. As I say, I'm done with reaction for tonight, but I will consider it for another day's reaction because it's a good video. I did watch some of it, and it would be nice to actually finish it. So yeah. And Carl says you could do anything you wanted to your slave and no one would stop you. In what society? Because in Rome there are actually laws that prevent you from doing that, depending on the emperor. Oftentimes, if you look at it broadly, then yeah, a lot of slaves unfortunately were mistreated like that and you could do nothing about it. But Rome, for instance, they had laws for it. And if you, let's say that you offed your slave and then they thought you did it unjustly, you could be imprisoned, and you could even be killed. So it was dangerous to be like that with your slaves. And if you beat your slaves and then you were found to be doing it unjustly from the perspective of Roman law, of course, I'm talking about, you could be punished or you could lose the slave. The slave could be freed. There are specific laws about it. So it kind of depends on the situation. Thank you, Abdullah, for supporting the stream. The best book that tells the Persian mythology is the book of Shahnameh. We can call it the Persian Iliad. Wow, I never read that. It is a wonderful work and has interesting stories, even though the writer is hostile to Arabs. Well, I will have to look into it. Thank you for sharing it. I appreciate that. Well, the emperors could do whatever they wanted, Carl. Basically, emperors are above the law, and it is what it is. I mean, technically they're not, because first citizen and whatnot. But I mean, yeah, I'm sure emperors did whatever they wanted, unfortunately, with whomever they wanted, including family members. And you're kind of stating the obvious, Carl, when you say there was no good or better slavery. Yeah, of course. I mean, slavery is bad. I think we can all agree with that. So I agree with you. Absolutely. Let's see. Metatron Honey says, do you know the YouTube channel Gold and Gunpowder or Sturman? No, I don't. I don't watch a lot of gun channels, to be honest. I don't know if it is. But yeah. Gladiators fought other gladiators. Yes, true. And sometimes animals. But yeah. Generally speaking, you're correct. with Praetorian approval. Goodness gracious, the Praetorians. Yeah, I actually made a very detailed video on the Praetorians. I don't know how it went in terms of views. I kind of stopped checking it. Let me see. Praetorians Metatron. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, this video, the true origins of the Praetorian Guard. And I do write one of my best videos ever. I added that afterwards because the video didn't do very well, but I think it's really good. I think it's really good. And it goes really into the details of how the Praetorian Guard worked and how it changed legally and organizationally from emperor to emperor. Like, it's a breakdown. I wish YouTube would push it. It's a nice video. It's a nice video, YouTube. So you know what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you a link. So if you like Praetorian history, there we go. I'm going to suggest it to you guys. Check it out. Share it. It deserves it. It's a good video. I promise. So yeah. Metatron, what's your favorite color? Blue? Yes, it is. Blue. Specifically electric blue, if you really want to know the hue. Electric blue. Yeah. So yeah. Who's going to punish the emperor after all? Yeah, the Praetorian Guard in theory, but not for that reason. It's his opponents. But then again, they don't do it to punish him. They do it to take his place. Or they do it because they don't like what they're doing to them. Like, there are emperors that tried to not pay the Praetorian Guard. You don't do that. You just don't do that. McDonald's when? You're right. Let me tell my wife if she can order McDonald's for me. Because it will take them a while to get here. One moment, sorry. All right. Nice. We're getting some McDonald's, guys. I've never seen the show Cloud Use Snow. Is it good? I hope it's good. So, yeah, I just ordered McDonald's. I mean, I'm asking my wife to do it for me. And that would be nice. All right, guys. So what we're going to do is that initially I was going to live stream from 5 to 7. We live stream from 5 to 7:30, which is nice. I always love my time with you. What I'm going to do now is that normally I would stop the stream now, but instead I'm going to continue the stream for another half an hour or so. But I'm going to just do it as a members only. So super chats still continue to appear. The chat will be for members as a way to say thank you to the people supporting the stream. You're still more than welcome to stay, of course, or become a member if you want, because every live stream is going to have this. And on Friday, I'm going to have members dedicated live stream. So it's a way to ensure that your comments get read and when we can interact. And it's a way to support, of course, the production in the channel and on the channel and all the rest. So again, thank you so much to everyone else. I'm going to switch to members only now. And I appreciate everyone here. And yes. So yeah, thank you. And of course, if you do follow me on Twitch, I'm still going to read the Twitch chat. It's just that I'm going to give priority to members. But if no members chats, then I'll just read Twitch. So Twitch is an opportunity to continue chatting if you want. So I'm going to give you first my Twitch, in case you want to switch to Twitch. It's always a possibility. I love giving people options. I love giving people options because I love options. So this is my Twitch, if you want. And for the members, the floor is yours. Here we are. No, it's not that I'm asking people to pay. It's a way to thank people who are supporting. Because normally I would have stopped the stream now, but I'm like, no, I'll just do an extra 30 minutes for the members to thank them for the support, because I mean, it is hard worked money and I am grateful for it. So I'm just doing a little extension. That's how it is. Oh, you were quoting. Don't worry about it. It's totally cool, man. It's fine. Don't worry, Nicholas. It's cool. Not a problem. I misunderstood you, so my bad. My apologies. All right. In 3, 2, 1. Boom. All right, we got into members only. So if you're a member, it's your time to shine. I will 100% read your comment now. We're gonna have a little. I only have like 205. Well, only I have 205 members, and I'm very grateful for it. That technically means that I want to say maybe there are like 3, 4, 5 members at the time at the moment. I hope it increases one day. But yeah, if you're a member, like right now, it's guaranteed we're gonna have like a one-to-one chat. Pretty much that's how it is, isn't it? Let me double check to see if. Yeah, the lovely wife has ordered my cheeseburger, man. I'm so looking forward to that. I am so... Hey, Goat. Welcome. So I think you became a member. I'm glad to have you here. Floor is yours. You can ask me whatever you want. And Daniel, there you go. Higashi Maltazar, how did your interview go? Oh, yeah, he had an interview, didn't he? Yeah, you're right. Get a membership. It's worth it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to continue posting extra videos on members, the stuff that I think could get, like if there is a project that we like and I know members like, I'm gonna do some polls, and I'm like, oh, I can't do it because the system is gonna kill it at 10,000 views. I make it for members, and I'm thinking of making at least one video like that a month that we can like poll with the members, and then of course every Friday I will do a members only stream, and then Monday to Thursday streams for everyone. That's my idea. That's the plan, guys. That's the plan. I was thinking about throwing Meta subby. Thank you, Devil Ray. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Big Mac attack. Wow. Voltchild is right. What's your go-to McDonald's order? Asks Goatee. Oh gosh, usually it's the quarter pounder, but tonight I'm into double cheeseburger. And thank you for subscribing on Twitch, Devil Ray. I really appreciate that. Anyways, that was an interesting history hit video. I liked it. I was just surprised that he didn't like, you know, that he didn't think that the Trojan War happened. I was like very surprised by that. Thank you for the gift sub as well on Twitch. I appreciate that. Devil Ray. Yeah, it's true. The gladiators fought animal. Yep, they did that. Yes, bestiarios. Yeah, that's correct. Goatee says, McDonald's cheeseburgers are amazing. I agree. I always get 2 and a spicy buffalo chicken poutine. I don't know what that is, but yeah, in America, you know, I'll tell you a funny story about that. In America, you have the meal, the deal, right? The meal, sorry. And you can order 2 single cheeseburgers and then fries and whatever, make it a meal. That's how I used to order McDonald's all the time in Italy. And I had a friend who was working at McDonald's making fun of me, saying, why do you order 2 separate cheeseburgers? Why don't you get a double cheeseburger? Because that deal offer does not exist in Italy. And I always told him, I think it's better because I get to eat 2 sandwiches. And then I come to America and they do have it as a meal. Man, I spammed this WhatsApp with pictures of it. I was like, see, I was right. I had just said an American mentality. Daniel says, Raoul is definitely an interesting professor. He is. I like his presentations. I do. I really like his presentations. Thank you, Ernia, for becoming a member of the channel on YouTube. I really appreciate that. Welcome to the inner circle. Same to Adriel. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much. Of course, everything. I know that I have a few tiers on the members, but everything will always be open to the lowest tier. So people that, I know that often YouTubers do that. They're like, oh, I'll put the good stuff to the high tiers so that people are encouraged to give me more. I prefer to do it this way. It's the same on Patreon, but I prefer doing this way. Lowest tier, gives you access to everything. Higher tier is for those people who are like, yeah, but I want to support more. It's just how I do it. Thank you, Apoc RNG, for becoming a guardian, and I do appreciate Adriel, by the way, for becoming an elite guardian. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Any plans to attend any reenactment, says Leonidas Spartas. Hey man, good to have you here. Not sure what state you are in, but there are some great event in... What's NA? I don't know what state that is. North? No, I don't know what that is. Yeah, I would like to participate to a reenactment at one point. Wow, chat is getting busy. And then APOC says, why is it you kept calling him Ditch? Oh yeah, is that some kind of joke? You do know it's Ditch, right? It's Dutch. No, but yeah, but the Ditch guy is his nickname because he always talks about building ditches. So he's known as the Ditch guy. It's like his other name, if you will. It's like a meme. I just paid to say how beautiful you are. Appreciate Adriel. Thank you so much. And Goatee says, a poutine is basically fries, gravy, and cheese curds. Ooh, that sounds very American. It's Canada's... Oh, it's Canadian. Well, there you go. Canada's national dish. The spicy buffalo one has spicy buffalo sauce, chicken, either grilled or crispy. Goodness gracious, you're making me hungry. Gravy, and cheese curds. Well, it sounds great. I probably would love it. I don't know anything about Canadian food, by the way. I don't know how to even imagine it. What do you guys eat? What do you guys eat in Canada? Ernia says, my first membership on a channel. Is there a creator on YouTube that deserves it? It's you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thank you, Red Cosmonaut, for becoming a guardian. I really appreciate you joining. A lot of stuff is going to happen with members on the channel, so I really appreciate that. Daniel says, you were talking about Rome earlier, and it reminded me I need to keep playing Centurion. Glad you showed me that game. Yeah, I finished it. I have a 10 videos playthrough on my gaming channel, Metatron's Protectorate, and I loved it. That game is phenomenal. It always is. At the end, I became a Caesar. It was great. Yes, yeah, I'm reading the Twitch chat too, John. Absolutely, I'm reading it. I'm just giving priority to members, but I do read Twitch as well. 100% I read it. Is there a stream tomorrow? Tomorrow, yes. From 5 to 7, I'll stream. St. Nicholas. Apoc says, I highly suggest you look into Uncharted X and the Egyptian vase scan project. Yeah, people mentioned it. I wrote it in the notes. I will. It's probably one of the biggest archaeological anomalies right now with material evidence. So how about we check that tomorrow, together with the Gladiators one during the live stream tomorrow? We could do that. Hey, Red, greetings. Welcome. Goatee says, come on down to Montreal. We'll grab a poutine. Sounds good. Thank you for the invitation. And may I ask, if it's not too personal, if you have ever been shaken in your faith? If so, how did you deal with it? I'll be honest with you. No, never. I've never been shaken in my faith. And I don't know. I don't want to say it like to be like, oh, look at me. I'm just answering honestly to you. It never happened. So I've seen a lot of people that were, and like, yeah. So I would always say go back to prayer when it comes to that, and it's usually the best way. But no, it never happened to me. Adriel, quick question. Have you read the Wheel of Time saga? No, I haven't. And also, I want to say, no question is too personal. You can ask me anything you want, and I'm unoffendable. It's impossible to offend me. So you can say whatever you want. There will be questions that I will choose not to answer. But apart from that, I'll just tell you. In that case, I'll say like, I'm not comfortable talking about it. And that's it. But generally speaking, like, this is not one of those. You can ask me whatever you want. I usually don't talk about my faith much on the channel because I want to be respectful to people who do not share it. But if someone asks me, I'm more than happy to talk about it. Absolutely. Adriel says, quick question. Have you read the Wheel of Time saga? So yeah, you were asking me. No, I haven't. John Doe on Twitch says, I love Jesus too. Me too, man. Me too. And Daniel says, I watched all episodes and decided I should play. Oh, yeah. Oh, you watched all episodes. Building my fleet is next. Yeah, you need to build a strong fleet. Man, the number of ships you need in that game, Centurion, is insane. Is insane. So there is that. I wonder how long it's going to take for the food delivery person to bring me my McDonald's. We always tip very nicely, by the way. I always tip nicely the people that bring me food because it's like, I appreciate it. I'm sure it's a hard job, and it's definitely a much more difficult job than mine. So why not? I mean, it's not going to make a difference to me, but it might make a difference to them. So that's why I enjoy doing that. I mean, tipping culture in the US sometimes can be a little strange for me, depending on how some people are like expect it and they're very impolite about it, and I don't support that. But when people are like, when it comes from me and I see the person is nice, like even restaurant, like the other night we went to California Pizzeria, something. It was pretty good, and the waiter was so nice. And at that point, I'm like, yeah, I want to give him a good tip. It's nice to do. I know that some people can't afford it, and then I respect that. At that point, I mean, it is what it is. But because I can, then I enjoy doing that. Impossible to offend you since Italian cuisine is not that good compared to most cuisine. You offended me. No, no, it's fine. That doesn't offend me. What offends me, there is one thing. My kryptonite is pineapple on pizza. That's where I draw the line. But anything else is fine. Anything, you can insult me. You can call me all names you want. I'll be like, yeah, whatever. But if you put pineapple on pizza, man, that's where I draw the line. Go to what is preferred in Italy, white or red wine? It depends on what you eat. So the majority of the population in Italy will pair red wine with meat and white wine with fish. Believe it or not, I think if you ask a professional, they will tell you, no, there are some red wines that you can drink with fish, but I'm talking about the non-expert, the population. Then they will pair it with different things. Beer with pizza? I prefer beer with pizza, to be honest. I wouldn't drink wine with pizza. Wine with beef? Oh yeah, totally. But like a nice Nero d'Avola from Sicily with a nice cut of beef for steak, my gosh, great. But I don't like the idea of wine with pizza. I definitely prefer beer with pizza, like a Miller maybe, or an Italian Peroni. A Peroni, it's economical, it's not expensive. You can pair it with pizza. Say Nicholas asks me on Twitch, Metatron, should I upload more than once a day? No, I wouldn't do it, mostly because I know channels that do it, like Asmongold posts 5 times a day. But unless you're making content that is like an actual content mill, like you can produce episodes quickly, it might exhaust you. So for now, I would stick to once a day. It's already a lot. It's 30 videos a month. I know, because that's what I do. Work with that first and see how it goes. And then if you build such a back catalog, but you need to have the back catalog first, otherwise it might stress you. If you build a massive back catalog and you have like 50 videos already filmed, then I'm going to be like, yeah, okay, you could experiment with that. That's what I would say. Oh, you do have a lot of backlog. Well, then if you do, you could experiment. Do it for a month and see what happens. If you don't see much of a change, then revert back to 1 video a month and maybe increase the quality. But if you see that it's working and you get a boost in your views and subscriptions, then maybe that's the way to go. Yeah, beer with pizza is good, Andrea. Fun fact, Hawaiian pizza was invented by a Greek man who immigrated to Canada. It's nothing to do with Hawaii. I did not know that, but it doesn't surprise me. I mean, Caesar salad has nothing to do with Julius Caesar. It's the name like of a guy from, I think, Mexico. His name was Cesar something, I don't know. No, 1 video a day, I meant, sorry. 1 video a month is impossible. 1 video a day, I meant. Apologies. Somebody here mentioned the Illyrians earlier. Can you tell us something about them? It's a fascinating population. There are some claims that are political that I don't really want to go into right now, but there are fascinating populations, both the Illyrians and the Trojans. Maybe I could make a video dedicated to both, since geographically the area is that one. And I'll consider making a video about it. During a stream, I don't have the data right now with me, and honestly, off the top of my head, to give you the deep presentation on the Illyrian is not exactly something that I can do just like that, but it is an interesting topic. Maybe after I make the video on the Macedonians, I could make a video on the Illyrians. That could be interesting. Have you ever read or listened to The Secret History of the Mongols? Secret History of the Mongols? No. It gives such a deep insight into Northern Asian history and how much the Mongols impacted the world. There is a good reading on YouTube. I'll have to check it out. Let me write it here. Thank you. I'll look it up. Yeah, you're running away the political stuff. Yeah, it's just the ancient stuff, the actual historical stuff will interest me a lot. I'll make a video 100%. I don't know when, but I will. Welcome to Sledge into the members, and thank you Caucasian Rice on Twitch for subscribing with Prime. That really allows me to play a lot of games, because on Twitch, particularly at night, I'm going to continue to live streamings when we just hang out and play. So thank you for that. Appreciate. And welcome to Light 7 for becoming a guardian. Illyrians, are they related to the Greeks? Illyrians are not Greeks, but there is some intermingling, and we do see some architectural influence on the Macedonians that clearly comes from that side. So, yeah, they are there, but
Hello.
it's one of those. Hello.
Hello again.
Hi.
Hello, members.
Yeah, welcome to. Thank you, Toadstool, for subscribing with Prime. Caucasian Rice is such a name.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much, Sledge. Thank you, a light.
7'7".
Yep, that's amazing, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are incredibly
Well, yeah, a
generous.
lot of people, remember, just subscribing is fantastic. And it's going to be good because we're going to see all of them from 5 to 7 on Friday.
Hello,
Fi-
Saint Nicholas.
Hi, St. Nicholas. So, yeah, for the members, on Friday I have a members-only stream, the entire stream, and it's going to be at 5 Central Standard Time. So I don't know what that is in your country, but just to let you know, every Friday at 5 p.m., it's a date. Oh,
Members
McDonald's.
only. Yeah.
Meta wife.
Members only, and subscribers on Twitch.
Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo.
Thank you guys. But and of course regular streams every
Oh,
day.
absolutely.
Normally for everyone else, always everyone is welcome. Clearly. Wife-a-tron says Goaty.
Yes. Hello.
Hello, Meta
Hello,
wife.
It's a date. That's cute. I love that. Hi, Baron. I should get on stream because I'm also a member.
Yeah, you should do that. She is a member. She really is a member of the channel. And Goaty asks, will that stream be available as a VOD on YouTube? Yeah, yes. Yeah, it will be. Absolutely. All VODs are staying public on YouTube. It's a change of policy. Recent change of policy. Hey, Baron. Welcome. The secret history of the Mongols ordered to be made by Kublai Khan. Oh, that's interesting. It retells pretty much the entire history of the Mongols as we know it. I'd like to watch it, APOC.
Yeah, that's cool.
And Subutai on Twitch says, Metatron, we Canadians started pineapple on pizza, then blamed the Hawaiians for it because we called it Hawaii.
no.
And ooh, then now we know.
I love Hawaii. I want to go to Hawaii.
Mm-hmm. And Goaty asks, how long does the Friday members only stream last? We still haven't decided that. I say a minimum of 1 hour, but it could be up to 2 hours depending on how I am on that day. Just leave it like that.
All right. I'm going to go again.
Yeah.
I was about to wash my face.
No problem.
So, hi again,
Lovely.
chat. Bye again, chat. Have a great night.
Yeah, Leonidas Sparta is asking, have you got any new and exciting armor commissions? Yes, you finally completed your archaic panoply. That's wonderful.
Are you going to tell him?
Yeah, I showed the stream earlier that I have a helmet coming up.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, it's this one
It looks
here.
amazing.
No, it's not this. This is
Oh, yeah.
Doctor. It's this one. There you go. I'm going to show you, but first I need to make sure. There you go. So this is the helmet. It's just being completed. It's a closed helm, but as I say, I also use the term armet because medieval people didn't differentiate. And it's a infantry combat 20, and
it
it's
has a
gorgeous.
visor.
And it has a visor. It's very nice. So it's being shipped.
Now we need Kinsey into armor. Absolutely, Baron. 100%.
Absolutely, Baron. You like it, Baron? It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a good looking helmet. And just to show you from the side, like we showed earlier.
Yes.
I mean, look at this. Look at this, guys.
It's so shiny.
It is very shiny. I always tell them I want it pearl polished.
Oh, yeah.
Pearl polished. Not every medieval helmet would have been, like many would have been matte finish. But the most expensive one for the rich would have looked like this, like for mounted
Well, the shiny is
nobility.
definitely the way to go.
Oh, I agree. 100%.
I know I said that I was going to go and then I haven't left yet.
It's fine.
Okay, I'm going to go now. Oh.
When will you get your own suit of
You
armor?
know what? I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool to have like an actual one that like fit me properly or something.
Yeah,
And I could wear it to the Ren fair.
totally. We should do
It'd be
that.
really cool.
Oh, that'd be nice. We should crowdfund it. We should crowdfund Kenzie's armor.
Oh my
That would be fun.
God.
Thank you. So John asks on Twitch, did people fight in armor like that? Absolutely, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was to show off, but it was to show off their wealth because they wanted people to know on the battlefield who that guy is rich, that guy is noble. They wanted it to know because on one hand, it's good on your side because the king or other nobility looks at you and you're like, oh, this guy is important. I want to be a friend with him. And it's good as a life insurance because people on the other side know that you're rich and so they are more likely to kidnap you for ransom than to kill you.
Wow.
That's how medieval people did it.
Hashtag armor up Kinsey.
Yeah, hashtag armor up Kenzie.
Okay, I'm actually going to go this time. Thank you so much, chat, for any donations, any subscriptions, any members. Thank you
I
so
appreciate
much.
that,
You guys
yeah.
are all so kind.
Thank you.
And y'all are great. Mwah. Okay, bye.
And Goaty says it would be interesting to see how actual medieval armor would be made to fit a woman considering sexual dimorphism. Yeah, it would be the same. It'd just be tighter at the waist. I don't know.
I don't think so.
It would be tighter at the waist, but you wouldn't have to change it too much. You can just put a woman in a man's suit of armor. I'm gonna have some chips, guys. So, I mean fries. In the meantime, thanks for the response. Absolutely, John. Ernia says, I wanted to go to bed 30 minutes ago, but look at me, still here as a member. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Good to have you here. No, they are chips, says Murphy. Yeah, exactly. Chips, French fries, whatever you want to call them. French chips. I'm going to call them French chips. How about that? There is a battle on Twitch on whether these are fries or chips. What do members think? Because they are great, but only for the first 3 minutes. I love these French chips. They're frips. They're frips, guys. Goatee says they're frips. And frips they are. Sorry, I'm telling my wife. So what's funny is that when I eat, she always tells me to be careful because she's worried that I will choke, which makes sense. I mean, choking is a hazard, and you know, she's very thoughtful. Those are fries. As a Brit, I will die on that hill. Chips are thicker, like you get at a chippy. I mean, that's what Leonidas says, guys, and he's very accurate. So how do we come back? How do we... What do you guys think? Yeah. In America, the thicker ones are called steak fries. I remember my father-in-law calling them like that. He's as American as it gets, my father-in-law. Oh yeah, that's a that's a Minecraft container. Look at this, non-sponsored, but it's a Minecraft. Yeah, well, the camera is not cooperating. You gotta own at least 5 GUN so you aren't American. We are not at 5. I'll leave it out there like that. French or Belgian chips? I don't know. What's the difference? What are cajuns then? I have no idea. There's a recipe on the back? Oh, it does. That's cool. Potato plus charcoal equal French fries chips. I don't have a horse in the game, by the way. For me, these are patatine. That's how we call them. I think in Spanish it's like patatas fritas, but we say patatine. In Italian, patatine, fritte, if you want to specify. Spicy food is more trendy now than ever, says Subutai. Yeah, true. I like it if it's mildly spicy. Cajuns are a group of French people from Acadia in Nova Scotia that were forcefully moved to Louisiana. Really? Papas fritas, sorry. Because in Italian it's patata, that's why I got confused. It's papas. Papas fritas. Cool. Yeah, for us, patatine fritte. My mom used to make killer fries or chips. My gosh, really good. I would hurry. The shelf life is about 10 minutes. You're right. They're still good. They're still great. They're very good. They came here very hot. See, the driver, the delivery person, they deserve the tip. Oh, in Spain is patata as well? I see. What do Italian people tend to serve frips frips with ketchup or ketchup and mayo mixed into the pink sauce, not the pink sauce from TikTok. We call it salsa rosa, usually ketchup though, because I know the Brits love vinegar, salt and vinegar, but we don't do that in Italy. I like it, but we don't do it in Italy. And yeah, ketchup. Here, my wife loves honey mustard. That's what she likes. In Arabic is batata. It sounds similar. It does. Hagop. That's surprising. Do you like yam fries? I don't think I've ever had them. I like curry ketchup. I'm not sure if I would. Pom rot weiß. I don't know if that's how you read it. No, I don't know who ex Deo is. Pom Schranke. Are you from Germany? Is that German? Rip Oblivion just crashed on me. Oh no. Well, as I told you, it crashes once an hour for me. You do like a good salt and vinegar chips. Yeah, salt and vinegar is good. It's just, I like crisps that are salt and vinegar more. Because if it's chips, in the English sense, oh my gosh, it's so confusing. French fries, chips. If you put the vinegar on that, it gets them wet. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, and I'm like, I don't know. But it's just me. But if it's crisps and give me salt and vinegar crisp, usually they're like bright neon blue, light blue. I love them, whether it be Pringles or whatever. You open the thing and the vinegar makes you cry. I love it. Yeah. So there's that. Honey roasted barbecue sauce from Chick-fil-A is great on fries chips. Yeah, I like Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is good. And I love their sauce. We bought the bottle. We bought the bottle, my friend. It's in the fridge. In Polish is frytki. Frytki. Actually, I don't know if I mispronounced it, but cool. Chick-fil-A nuggets go hard. Yeah, my wife is into chicken nuggets. I'll eat them if you give them to me, but there are like a lot of other items, menu items that I prefer. I don't know how we ended up talking about food. Well, I guess because I got this, but here we are. That's a variety streamer if I've ever seen one. Oh, you were born in Croatia and from Bosnian person. Wow. You got it all, mate. Man, how many languages do you speak like out the box? It is interesting. Yeah, true. Almost always it begins with an F. I wonder why. It's that time of day when some are eating, not just a streamer. I agree. I'm enjoying the chat. Yeah, the chat is fun. Thank you, Lane Barry, for the super chat. If you like metal music, I absolutely do. I'm a metalhead. You like ancient Rome, then you should look into Ex Deo. Okay, no, don't worry. There is no off topic on this channel. We will talk about anything. And we can talk about Metroid while we talk about chips. Why not? There she is. Samus. I'll look into Ex Deo. Cool. It's easy to remember. Ex Deo. Maybe I can listen to that tonight while I write my scripts for the videos. German, Croatian, Bosnian, Italian, French, English. Man, you're a mix. You started learning coin in Greek today. That's cool. In Dutch, you say patat or friet. Still very similar. No, I didn't listen to the Sabaton's newest song. That could be cool. So hyped for Prime 4. Prime 4? What's that? I don't know what that is. It's like chill with Metatron and chip fries. Sorry, Super Metroid Prime. I got it. Me too. Metroid is good. Metroid is great. Samus, the original video game crashed when people found out she's a girl. Yeah, we found out like when you finish the game, right? And then you see her without a helmet. I remember I was in elementary school and we were like, oh, she's a blonde girl. Which made it special. I guess if you're in Sweden, it doesn't make it as special. But for us, Mediterranean, we do get blondes, by the way, because of the Normans. But for some reasons, we were like, oh, wow, look, Samus is badass. I agree. I have this. I have a both with. I keep them on my. I keep her on the. Let me see if I can. Oh, finally. As you can see, I have it with the gear and without the gear. How about that? Samus is great. Good games. I mean, I think Super Metroid for Super Nintendo is one of the most atmospheric games ever. The beginning with that music and you run the lab all blue, you don't see anything. It's great. Zero Suit Samus, yeah. Samus was a female character done right. I absolutely agree. It literally didn't matter and you only found out when you finished the game. Yeah, but even if you found out earlier, it doesn't matter because it's sci-fi. She's got the power gear. That's what gives her her strength. It's not like she's unnaturally muscular. No, it's the power suit, basically. And her skill, because she's very skilled. Yeah, I like Samus. She's a great character. Did you see the Colossal did a response to Hank's channel's take, similar to yours on the dire wolves? No, I didn't. That's interesting. I mean, the dire wolf was something that I talked about. Not, I mean, it's interesting, but I mostly talked about it because it was a hot topic. I'm not gonna lie. There will be other things that I would rather make a video on the Illyrians, but I know that YouTube is YouTube, so I'm like, you know what? Let me just watch this. It's gonna be easy, and so I did. But it'll be interesting to see what they think. People that it's usually their focus. That could be interesting to see. Music from old era video games is amazing. Oh my gosh, spot on, mate. It's fascinating how they managed to immerse you into the world by simple music. Yeah, think about Quickman Stage, Mega Man 2. If you want to talk about incredible music, I want to show you. I want to show you right now. That's like incredible music, since we are talking about it. So we go into Quickman Stage, music, Mega Man 2. This is NES, guys. NES. Think about the chips, the sound chip they needed to deal with. And look what they managed to do. I gotta show you. This. Here we go. It's great. Let's go. That's it. Man. I mean, what? Seriously, no modern game music can compete with this. Is good beats, and you know another one that is really good, Celius. And then I'll read your chat 1 second. Celius menu. This is still like I used to listen to this when I was 10, guys. 10. Check this out. Okay, now we're talking. How did they do it? How did they do it? And if you go and you're like, well, maybe the stage music was a banger, like Lane, yeah. As the kids say, a banger. Maybe you're like, yeah, the menu was good, but that's a no. Now check this out. Stage 1. I need to show you. Stage 1. Let me see if I can actually show you the game. I mean, because we still listen to the music gameplay. And Mercenary Cobra is playing for us 18 years ago, I guess. But check this out. Check this out. That's the okay, and then we start this. It's a banger. I mean, that's like, it sums up 1990 right there for you. 1990. You give them nothing, they'll make gold. Gold. Incredible. And that's not even bringing the Amiga into the equation and the kind of music that they did. Mortal Kombat theme is always a banger. Well, yeah, of course. Of course. I mean, yeah. Totally. But even Street Fighter, Ken, and Guile, if I listen to the beginning of those two stages, I'm like, oh, that's Ken. Oh, that's Guile. Immediately. If you ask me to name the music of a stage of any modern Street Fighter 6, Tekken, whatever the heck, I like Tekken, but I'm saying I don't remember any stage music. But Street Fighter 2, with Super Nintendo chips, and yet phenomenal. So yeah, Amiga is always mentioned here, mate. Always mentioned. In fact, on Twitch, I'll be playing some Amiga soon, because Amiga's great. I've been live streaming some Amiga in the past. The sound is giving me arcade flashback. Absolutely, Evil Black. Yeah, totally. What a bop. You're right, Sledge. I mean, this is good music. And as you can see, I didn't even need to think. Like the moment we were talking about old school, late 80s, early 90s music with video games, immediately they popped into my mind because they stuck there. This is how good because video games were crafted. It was a form of art. It really was. I don't particularly care if it offends some people. It's like, I mean it. It is. Whereas today, there are fantastic games today, don't get me wrong. I mean, Soma, we played the entire thing on stream. I finished the entire game. I will post the full VOD edited on Metatron's Protectorate. And Soma, for instance, is a modern game. Fantastic, whatever you want. But it's like, you need to find them. You need to find them. It's like the gems. Valheim, as I say, is a gem. Conan Exile is fantastic. It's whatever. But back in the day, it was like banger after banger because they needed to compete, and they competed with quality of product. Today, I feel like the gaming industry is competing with how addictive is it and how much money can we squeeze, and let's copy what works from a marketing perspective. I feel that's what happens, which is why you need gems, and oftentimes it's indie studios that really save gaming. And for me, as someone who's been playing since 1980, I started playing video games in 1989. Maybe even a little earlier than that. And that's the major difference that I see, if you were to ask me. It's absolutely art. Exactly, Evil. I agree. It is. At least I look at, Final Fantasy VI, Tactics. You want to talk about Final Fantasy Tactics, the story of Final Fantasy Tactics? Goodness gracious, it's like you're reading a book. Have you ever played Legends of Mana? Yes, I have. It's one, and even Secret of Mana, you remind me of, for Super Nintendo. I played that one too. So yeah, love it. But yeah, anyways, I think I'm having a great time. I'm gonna stop the stream though for now. But do remember, members, on Friday at 5 Central Standard Time, full live stream for you guys, and for everyone else, look around if you're on Twitch to see if I live stream at night to play and some games with you. And then when it comes to everyone else, regular live streams from 5 to 7 from Monday to Thursday, and occasionally on the weekend I might do some too, because I really like live streaming. So thank you so much everyone for joining the stream. I'm just gonna go eat the sandwich, and because it's a good thing to do. But I really appreciate everyone here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for becoming members. Thank you for everything and your generosity, and for being part and keeping the channel alive. I really, really appreciate that. Hey, St. Nicholas. GG, guys. So I'm going to go eat. It was a very good stream. Yeah, I had a great time. So I might be live again later tonight to play some games on Twitch. And when I do that, I usually multi-stream with the gaming channel, The Protectorate. But yeah, for the next live stream, regular uploads as always daily on Metatron. I'll see you tomorrow 5 for the next live stream from 5 to 7. In fact, it's going to be 5 to 8 probably tomorrow 5 Central Standard Time. And then on Friday, we're going to have some good time with the members. Thank you. And for the members, keep an eye on the community tab because I'll be having some polls. So we decide a video to make and see what happens. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate the support and the generosity. Have a good one. Good night. I'm a monster of Might and Magic by Heroes. Heroes of Might and Magic. Not really the Might and Magic ones. Take care, guys. Ciao, ciao. Ciao.